Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Drop Frames. It's Sunday. Welcome to the stream. Hope you guys are doing well.
Hi.
What?
Hi, everybody.
Why are you doing that voice, Zeke?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just trying to spice it up.
Oh.
Our relationship has got a little stale, JP. I'm just trying to spice
I got
it
it.
up a little.
Okay, I understand. You have to. When you've been doing the show as long as we have, you got to keep it spicy.
What does it take for you to notice me?
I don't know. You got to strap cash to your forehead, Zeke, and then I'll just be interested in it.
You're saying you want me to bring a strap on into our relationship?
See you next week, everyone. We're out of here. Have a good one. God, the intros. Let's start the show over.
All right.
Speaking of excitement,
strong start.
Co, how are you handling the days? What's the count? Where
4
we
days.
At? 4 days and what?
4 days.
Well, no,
4
technically,
days.
aren't we 3 days in, or is it 4 days?
Like, there's the 31st, 1st, 2nd, and then on the 3rd. So on the 4th day, we have less than 4 days to go.
Less than 4 days. Yeah, there you go.
3 days, 22 hours.
There you go. That's the math.
Thank you, chat. Yep. 11 a.m. ET.
Now I'm kind of shocked. I don't know if shocked is the right. I'm surprised. Let's go with that. At how large, and maybe this is just the power of the TikTok algorithm. Very well could be. I have to admit that it's a very strong algorithm. I'm surprised at how many people are excited for Baldur's Gate 3. Like, I thought it was going to be kind of niche. I feel like it's eclipsed nichedom in the gaming world. Like, maybe that's just because of how big D&D's gotten in the past several years. But there are a lot of people that are very excited for Baldur's Gate 3 this week.
It's primarily the bear sex.
It might be.
When Baldur's Gate 2 came out, how long ago did Baldur's Gate 2 come out?
We're not. Don't
years.
answer that. You're fucking banned.
Oh.
Don't answer that. That's too long. I think it's 23 years.
I think that has something to do with it.
Yeah,
I think it has something to do
September
with it.
2000.
There you go. 23 years. So we haven't seen the people who loved the first and or second game, and how much now that we're on as live streaming and Twitch and all that kind of stuff, we're seeing all those people we've been loving this game, like Armored Core. I had barely heard of Armored Core, and then Armored Core 6, and these fucking people came out of the woodwork that I had no idea. It was like Armored Core, and I'm like, oh shit, I missed the boat on that one.
Yeah, that's true. It's I don't know if it's my echo chamber or if it's just it actually is that big. I don't know.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. First of all, Divinity Original Sin 2, completely its own IP, still got pretty dang big. It's very
True.
a lot of people love DOS2. This is the next project from them. So that alone, even if it was not Baldur's Gate related, that would have been a big deal. Then you have the fact that it's Baldur's Gate. So as a game that was pretty thoroughly loved 23 years ago, now we have a whole older audience that is being exposed to it again, which is awesome. Then you have the fact that the gaming community as a whole just knows a giant new game is coming out. And then on top of that, you also now have the D&D community, which is, one of the things that they love in D&D games is the huge plethora of options. And to their credit, that is exactly what Larian has been trying to very much accentuate in this game. Like, look at all the stuff you can do.
Yeah.
So it's pulling in, it's not one community that's hyped for this. It's lots of different ones, like a Venn diagram, amalgamating into this just larger than normal bubble for this type of game, for sure. And it's the next big CRPG. So I mean, that's another big thing. Again, lots of little communities are making a very large, and then of course the big exclamation point is the bear sex. And I say that first, obviously that's a joke, but second of all, that went viral.
Yeah, no,
I think that actually, we talked about in the last show, that, and it wasn't the fact that it was bear sex. It was the fact that they were showing just how far they're going to let players go in the game, and that alone interests a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's a big deal, man. It's gonna be a big thing.
Yeah.
And then of course the bumping it up by a month, so people are now feeling a lot better about the state that it's in, even though they just had this little 2-day delay snafu, which some people are kind of not so pleased about. But I don't think it's a big deal. But of course, we'll see.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. I'm sure they will release.
I think a little bit of it is like Baldur's Gate even if you didn't play it, it's one of those games that like
You know what it is.
like every gamer's heard of.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, that's true.
it's a common word.
Yeah.
Real quick, already seeing some stuff. So they didn't delay Baldur's Gate at all. What they did was they apparently told reviewers that they were going to be getting the game on X day. And then they have recently said, actually, we're bumping that back by 2 days. And of course, that could mean absolutely nothing. It could just mean that they're trying to finalize a build that they want the reviewers to see. It could be that they're fixing some last minute stuff, et cetera, et cetera. But the doom and gloom outlook is that they're trying to reduce the window in which reviewers can get to the end game, which may have the most issues. So that's the doom and gloom outlook. But honestly, I would bet that it is just a technical thing that they needed to fix up, or like they're still giving reviewers like 100+ hours to mess around in it. So I don't think it's too big of a deal.
Yeah. I saw a handful of reviewer folk on social media that were having vague D&D-ish tweets. So I think those have gone out. I think people are playing the game at this very moment.
Also, I personally have been one of the people that kind of like has been preaching for the last 5 to 6 years how little reviews actually mean. And how really, like there's sometimes a big picture thing you can look for trends, but like unless you know and trust the reviewer, then almost all reviews are just generally completely tainted and in some cases ruined by the perspective of the reviewer.
Sure.
We're just kidding. Skill Up, please come on the show again sometime. We're just joking.
Skill Up,
reviews mean stuff.
I think Skill
Up and ACG are perfect examples of people that you learn to trust, and then their reviews can be very meaningful. I mean, hell, like I've said many times publicly and still do, I disagree with just as many things as I agree with Skill Up. Still love his reviews because of the way that he does it and the way that he lays out the facts and stuff. But it's really fundamentally trusting and more importantly, knowing where reviewers coming from when they make their claims and comments on a product. Anyway, the reason I'm saying this, reviewing Baldur's Gate 3 reviews are already all over the map. But just think about these reviewers, like every one of them has the potential to have a different experience in this game. So it's like, they're going to mean even less because like, what if somebody did a playthrough and it like didn't end up how they wanted it to, or, they got funneled into a choice they didn't want, or, it didn't end up how they thought it would. And then it's like, that's their whole playthrough.
That a little bit. We talked about that a little bit with Sven when he was on about like, I think I asked the question of like, if you make shitty choices, are you worried about shitty reviews?
Yeah.
and that's the thing. That's exactly the issue. So let's say, for instance, that there is a reviewer who plays a righteous paladin who has to maintain their oaths, and then for one reason or another gets put into a position where a choice they didn't mean to, or they have to make a choice that they want to do, which then breaks their oath. They become an oath breaker. They have to deal with that, but they're pissed about it. And all of a sudden, that's now the perspective of the review. So it's like, it sure probably has complete story sense, and in their playthrough, that's what happened, and that's just the way that the dice rolled out. But it's the kind of thing where, that's gonna come through. Like that could affect the score that they give the game. And it's like it's gonna be wild to see like how reviews run the gambit in that regard. Because no reviewer is gonna be able to see the whole game.
I think it'll review.
There's just no way.
If I had to guess the Metacritic, I would think upper 80s. I don't know if it's going to crack 90. 90's pretty hard to crack, but I would say upper 80s. I don't think it's going to be.
I'd say 9.3. That's my Metacritic guess is 9.3.
93
with the size of this game.
Sorry, 93. Yeah.
With the size of this game, I'm going to be baffled if it's not at least a little buggy, and I think that's going to factor into the score. I'm going in expecting some bugs just because of how big it is.
Yeah.
Like it's a giant game. So the big question is going to be, what kind of bugs are those going to be? And also you have to keep in mind that Metacritic score is generally a score of general public consumption. Baldur's Gate 3 is not a game for the general public. It's not.
Essentially, yeah.
It's not 200+ hour epic RPGs are not a general public game. So yeah. That's very much, I feel, going to factor into the score. I would think low 80s. I would think low 80s unless it is phenomenal, in which case it's going to be one of those things that's like probably critically acclaimed and then generally get like mid to high 80s.
But
just
then
because of
again-
the type of game is not a game that a huge amount of people are going to even want to play, let alone experience. So, yeah.
But then again, like how, like, I was trying to think of a game that takes many, many hours that was hugely popular with almost like the entire public. Like,
Witcher
isn't
3?
Animal Crossing?
You could argue Elden Ring.
Elden
Elden
Ring.
Ring, like,
I mean,
huge-
general
Animal
Elden Ring
Crossing.
playthroughs are like 30 plus hours.
I think
Huge amount
Witcher
of
3
hours.
fits into that
Yeah.
easy. Like Witcher 3 reviewed
especially
very
if you
well.
do everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
Okay.
Xenoblade was pretty well received. That was like a 40-hour game.
Yeah.
I mean, there's stuff
mean,
like that. Persona 5.
Tears of the Kingdom is
Chat was in that one.
50, 60
Yep.
hours, and that's the highest reviewed game of the year so far.
I will say Nintendo's kind of a unique beast, but
True, yeah. Yeah.
Skyrim.
Yeah.
Skyrim would
term-
probably be the best example, I would think, like of a game that is 100 plus hours that is widely played by, all kinds of different gamers.
And Skyrim is even more interesting because then you factor in that a huge percentage of Skyrim players never finished the main story.
Right. Yeah.
So, that's another interesting fact to consider. I wonder if that's how it's going to be with Baldur's Gate 3.
Could be. Could be indeed.
I wonder what the fastest path is going to be. I wonder, like, what the world's first time is going to be.
I don't even.
I'm curious.
What is like the speed run for Divinity 2? I wonder. Divinity 2, let's
I'm going to
see.
guess
8 hours. Well, sorry, I just pulled it for you. It's 8 hours. Were you gonna guess anywhere in that?
I was going to guess 7 and
I'm totally wrong. Go ahead, guess.
Okay. I was going to say 7.5.
8 minutes.
Oh, glitch. Yeah, I'm talking glitches though.
Okay.
Any percent
8
current
minutes.
patch is 8 minutes 6 seconds as of 9 days ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's why the glitchless category exists, because you can beat Skyrim, I think, in like 5 minutes or something like that.
any percent glitchless is 34 minutes. So that's still stupid
80%.
fast.
Any percent glitchless is 34 for DOS.
Yeah, as far as
Wow.
2 years ago, it's a very not popular category on speedrun.com. But yeah, 34 minutes still any percent glitchless. Like
Wow.
that's kind of wild.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
even know how you get off the island in under 30 minutes. Like what? That's wild.
Well, and then you get into the minutia of like what counts as a glitch and what doesn't.
Sure.
Because they have to set down rules. Like, this is a glitch, this isn't.
Yeah.
Sure.
Diving into the news, there is Baldur's Gate 3 related news. Sven was talking with IGN. This was on the 27th, so 3 days ago. And he straight up said, I think we might have asked a similar question, but he didn't give us this answer, Sven. How dare you? He said that Larian will, quote, definitely make a Divinity Original Sin sequel, but not before a well-earned break. So I don't know if that means that's the next thing, or if that means they're going to make that eventually. That could mean a lot of different things. I guess.
Well,
I
the
guess
only
that
thing
could
there
be
is
true, that they're
that's
gonna make
not
it
really a
eventually.
spoiler because we know that they've tried to make more
Sure.
Divinity products and they unfortunately just haven't worked out for various reasons. So my guess is that that's kind of, I mean, the fact they've attempted it shouldn't really surprise anyone.
Yeah.
You
so
know,
that came out this
actually,
past week.
you might have given me like a good idea to test to see, like, because just to get it out there, I will not be playing Baldur's Gate 3.
On
Not
stream
because
or at
I'm
all?
a contrarian. No, I'll probably play it on my own time, but
Okay,
like
all right.
I won't be streaming Baldur's Gate 3, and
Right.
not because I'm a contrarian, which I kind of am, but because, blah blah blah, historically hype games don't do well for me, yada yada yada. But I have this week kind of planned out, but what if during most of the Baldur's Gate I did my first run of Divinity? I've never done a run of it.
Divinity 1 or 2?
Either one, I don't know.
Divinity
Which one should I do? Should I do 2?
two's.
I would probably say 2.
Yeah, I would say 2 as
Okay.
well.
Just jump into 2? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
2's not
I think
bad.
I've played a total of like 8 hours of Divinity, but it's just like, you ever have that board game Hero Quest?
Of
Where
course.
you had
Fuck
to like,
yeah.
you
No,
had to set up
here's
all
the
the
thing,
shit.
though. Here's
and you
the
play
thing.
like half an
No-
adventure after you tell the rules and get it set up.
No one even started that game, Zeke. You're lying. That game was
Yeah.
never started. You'd set it up, and then you'd be like, "You guys want to go do something else?" And then you would just, that's
exactly how
it was.
Divinity Original Sin. That's how I have 8 hours in it. Like I played like 2 hours at the start, like
Yeah.
with by myself with a co-op. Like I have 8 hours in the game, but I've seen 1 hour of the game.
It's like modding Skyrim, where modding is actually more fun than playing it. Like you'll play 10 minutes, but you'll mod for 8 hours type deal. That's how it goes. Yeah, that's same process. Same process. What else? Zeke, you brought up Armored Core earlier. There was some the Twitter conversation on this was interesting. Because a lot of people started talking about are you moaning at the conversation around the graphics? Is that what you saw?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and like running on engines, and there was a content creator that got dragged.
Oh my
for his
God, do
comments.
not start this. You're not funny.
What do you mean Twitter? It's called X now.
Oh, it's true. We do need to talk
Witty.
about the elephant in the room.
No,
of
don't do that.
Twitter and
please.
X. Yeah, when I say Twitter,
Every time you do that, Elon smiles and chuckles to himself.
yeah, when I say Twitter, I mean Twitter. It's not X. I'm sorry, it's not X. Did you guys see that obnoxious like thing that he put on the top of the Twitter building? That's the
God.
Yes.
spotlight that like blinds the house. Yeah, that's great. The apartments.
The fucking strobe light to the apartment building across the street.
Yeah.
What a fucking asshole.
It's apparently held
dude.
up by sandbags. It's not even like it's just shitty. Just a shitty fucking thing.
Ugh.
Yeah. Probably illegal.
But I'll tell
to
you
even
what,
have
you
that.
could call like McDonald's like shitty house of pancakes, and I'm still gonna call it McDonald's. You know, like
Exactly.
Twitter's X is not gonna be. It's gonna be Twitter forever.
Yeah. It's Twitter.
You know, for me.
Twitter forever. I agree. Yeah. So Zeke, the Twitter conversation around this gameplay preview that came out for Armored Core was really interesting. One content creator I think was being targeted as a stupid term, but it all kind of spawned the conversation of like, yeah, the graphics for this game look bad, or they look dated, or it needs a new engine. I think was really the conversation that they need to work on a new engine. And that spawned the idea of like, oh yeah, just slap a new engine in the game. That'll solve everything. Put on UE5, it'll be gorgeous. Blah 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 blah. But that being said,
It's still running on the Dark Souls engine, whatever that engine is, right?
I think so. I don't know I don't even think if we know for sure if it's running on like that
But-
engine.
Is it if it's running on the same engine that ran Demon Souls, like the remake Demon Souls? That's fucking fine. Like that.
Oh,
game was
that might be
gorgeous.
different. Yeah, that might be a
Oh, it
might be
different.
a
Okay.
PlayStation
Alright.
5 thing because that was done.
Ah, fuck. You're right.
That was done
Sorry.
like internally on that
Yeah.
side of the world, or that side of the business, I should say. But yeah, to say this looks bad or like, there was also the conversation of like it looks monotone and like they're not. It's I don't know.
Oh
the
my
whole
God.
the whole thing was weird.
Looking at that garage.
Oh yeah, it looks great. I don't it it just looks. It
No,
looks
but I mean,
great.
all the mechs are customizable though. If it's monochrome,
Oh, yeah.
like that's your fault, right?
Yeah, I mean, they were saying like the environments all kind of look samey and like it's very much like hues of gray and hues of brown, but it's like it's a fucking like apocalypse.
The big argument is that they need to drop previous gen consoles in favor of newer end consoles and get like full Unreal 5 with, fully destructible stuff. One thing that was noticed is that like if a building has glass and you destroy the buildings, the glass doesn't shatter kind of thing.
Mm.
So the from what I understand with the argument, the argument is the game could look better, but it's being held back because it wants to have a wider range of players.
Right.
Put it bluntly.
Yeah.
And the argument is they should not do that. And the argument to that is shut the hell up and stop being so elitist because that's
Yeah.
like a huge majority of players right
140
now.
million
Do
players,
not-
yeah.
Absolutely. And for a game that's coming out in September of 2023, for you to then even insinuate that all those players should be locked out so you have a little bit better graphics is just so ridiculously ridiculous. Like there's no other word for it. It's
The
just
only-
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then
The
and then
only
and
way
then
I
more
would
importantly,
notice-
to hold that as a fault of the game, to be like to then use that as a criticizing point of the game. It looks bad, so more people can play it, and that makes the game worse. And it's kind of
Yeah.
like,
kind of
Like,
silly.
it's just like, man,
It looks fine.
I
to
don't
me.
know, dude.
I think it looks fine.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
It looks fine, and the only way that I would actually like even notice any sort of like non next gen movement graphics, whatever, is if you put it side by side with something that is similar amount of movement and something that's optimized for current spec PCs. That's
Sure.
the only way I would probably see a difference, because this looks fucking fantastic to me.
Also, another thing, apparently with this graphics set, it runs at like 60 FPS all the time. So it's like awesome. Like,
Yeah.
the fact that it looks like this and you get consistent performance the whole time through all the big booms and pows and explosions that's great. Like, that's absolutely something that we can consider.
I think it was running 120 on PCs as well. So it's doing the frames for sure. And again, I think this looks exactly like it should. Having not played an Armored Core game, I'm excited because of how this looks. Looks like mech combat, and it's fast.
I think it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I'm excited.
And
I'm excited to play it.
People are saying this runs 120 FPS for PC.
Yeah.
I disagree with Co. It's the first time in a long
Fuck
time.
more do you want, man?
I mean, here's the thing. There's an argument to always move graphics forwards. I mean, that's the progression of gaming, right? Especially in AAAs, where that's kind of, which is what this is. It's an iconic franchise and its next iteration. But there's also something to be said when we are not fundamentally in the Xbox S PS5 realm. Not everyone has those systems. They're not for sale at pawn shops everywhere. They are still like being integrated into general gaming society. We are also not at a point where games can just have a toggle that lets you enable those graphics easily. Like, sure, some games do have like updated graphics for better systems, but that you're talking about like serious development time in those cases. So sure, it's okay to want that stuff. Absolutely. It's okay to want the best possible graphics in a game, but to criticize it for not being there, to criticize it for still looking good, but not looking the best it absolutely can. Like, you have to, now this is going to be a perspective that everyone sets for themselves, but there's like an acceptable limit somewhere where it still looks great and a lot of people can play it. Finding that balance, I think, is important for all developers to do. And it's wild to me that this is someone's line. Like, to have it look like this and be like, that doesn't look good enough.
Yeah.
It's just kind of like, sure, want it to be better. That's fine. But to say it doesn't look good enough, like, I don't know, man. That's weird. Like, that's weird to me.
It's a weird game to like. I would draw the line.
I'd vehemently disagree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone can have their own line, but
I think we had a similar conversation around Zelda this year, and like that, I think might hold a little.
And see,
bit
that's
more
for example, that's my line
line
is above
yeah.
Zelda. Absolutely, that's exactly right.
That's why I
my
brought
line
it
is
up.
above Zelda. Mhm.
Yeah. So it's a thing. It looks good. I still can't believe this comes out in September, and I also can't believe that we're 2 days away from August because time's advancing too fast and it needs to slow the fuck down. Stop it, time. Jesus. It's gonna be a busy year.
Agreed.
There's a lot of games.
We can all agree on that.
Or wait,
I
it comes
did
out in
not watch-
August, not September. That's even more.
I didn't watch the latest Armored Core stuff, but everything I'm so excited to play that game. I'm so excited to spend hours in that customization. Like, there's just so many. Oh God, it's looking awesome.
Yeah.
Looking awesome.
It'll be good. What else is happening? We can talk about all the Path of Exile stuff. Path of Exile had ExileCon the past 48 hours, I think. Yeah, that started on Friday.
Yep.
Wrapped up last night with the race outside of PoE 2, which we'll talk about in just a sec. If you're wondering if any of those panels or any of the things that they showed are worth watching, if you're even not interested in PoE, but you're interested in just ARPGs, they did a panel last night with kind of like the gods of ARPG. They had the original creators of Diablo, Diablo 1, Diablo 2, the creators of, Torchlight, and like one or two other just like the goats of ARPGs. It's an hour long. Kriparian was the host for it. An incredible panel. It was absolutely incredible to like hear from the guy that created The Butcher and how every ARPG is like tried to emulate The Butcher. Yeah. And like no one's gotten close to how scary The Butcher was in Diablo, of opening that door and just getting obliterated. And yeah, it was a very good panel. They talked about a ton of different things, ranging from like how they handle currency, how they handle trading, how they handle items. They got asked if they would ever like form the Avengers of ARPG and make a game together. It's worthwhile. It's an hour long.
That's
Go
cool.
watch it. I forget the full name of the panel, but it should be on. I would think their Twitch channel still VOD-wise. If not, they might cut it out and put it on their YouTube channel. So definitely check it out if you're interested in that stuff. That being said, the main focus of ExileCon was Path of Exile 2. And it was an interesting weekend of all of that news. The biggest aspect of all of that, they came out right out of the gate and said that Path of Exile 2 is no longer an expansion to Path of Exile 1. They will be standalone games with separate game balance, systems, and future expansions. Your purchases still will be shared between both games. And that alone is a massive conversation point. And Co's response is appropriate.
Oh man,
I am. Where do you
so
fall?
excited for this. I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's fantastic. I think it's amazing. I am super jazzed that it is its own thing. I think one thing that I've always said about Path of Exile is that it's a phenomenal game, but it's so like at this point, I'm going to use the term. I'm going to say it. It's so bloated at this point with all of these super complex game mechanics that it like almost feels impossible to be doing everything right. Just because there's so much depth in each one of those mechanics that it just gets ridiculous. So it's the kind of thing where I'm thrilled that they're essentially now making the decision to reset with Path of Exile 2. That means that when you go in for the first time, it's not going to be Path of Exile 2 plus 9 leagues that you don't know how to do any of them efficiently or well. It's going to be just Path of Exile 2 and everything involving that. You can spend time learning all the base systems of the game. You can focus on learning the new dodge stuff, the new gem system, like all this stuff, not have to worry about anything else. And then hopefully get that down in time for the first expansion and then really focus on that one expansion because now you have the base mechanics and the expansion only. So it's basically like, it's interesting because one of the things I've been loving doing recently is playing this old game called EverQuest on progression servers. And one of the reasons I love that so much is that it strips the game back down to just base stuff that I know and understand and then slowly adds more to it. And I feel like that's exactly what they're doing with PoE 2. And that makes me incredibly happy.
I don't know where I sit on it. I started when they announced it. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then I watched PoE 2 gameplay and I like heard them say a lot of things in the interviews of like, yeah, if something is good in PoE 1, we'll port it over into PoE 2. And then I just start to think,
oh, no.
Well, why the fuck does PoE 1 still exist then? If
Hold
you're
on.
just going to port stuff over. Like,
now chat, there's people in chat saying, yes, Co got it completely wrong. Leagues will be there. I think that's the whole point of them announcing it's two different games, right?
yes and no. Like, they will still bring stuff over from PoE 1 if it works well. Like, they straight up said that. If there are things that are implemented into Path of Exile 1, it will be put into Path of Exile 2.
But what about, like, for instance, is Path of Exile 2 going to have Blight and Betrayer? And, like, is that all
potentially? I don't know if they have said yes or no to the specifics of all of that stuff.
That's saying yes.
It depends on, like, what it is. I think Delirium
most likely. Oh, so does anyone know for sure? Yeah.
It's the other big caveat around this entire conversation is closed beta starts a year from now. So anything that they fucking say could change from a year between now and then. Like, that's maybe the whole thing. The negative of the whole event was they show all of this stuff and people are like, oh man, okay, they're going to have something in 6 months. They're going to have something in 3 months. Is it going to be playable today? They drop that the closed beta starts a year from now. And everyone was just kind of like, oh, okay. So, all right. I guess we'll see you in a year.
So apparently what has been said is that there will be versions of those league mechanics.
They're going to have to iterate and figure out how they want to bring it in. Yeah. And like the complication aspect, I think it's still going to be super complicated. In some ways, even more complicated.
Oh yeah, dude.
Like they're going to have, they showed that you can have, just like in PoE 1, you can have 2 weapons equipped, but you can have different specs
lines.
on your tree. So when you switch weapons and use a different skill, it automatically swaps to that other spec when you're using that weapon when it comes to the passive tree. And like
It's crazy.
that, it's like, oh, so I'm going to have to, I mean, that seemed minor. It's like go on one side of the tree and the other one goes on the other side of the tree. But like, I don't, it's the whole thing is just weird to me, I think, ultimately. Like the more I thought about it, the more I watched, it is a weird decision. And it was also strange when like Jonathan, the game director for PoE 2, was on stage doing interviews, and they would just constantly say things like, oh, I hate in PoE 1 when blah. And I'm like, but that you're not, the game still exists. And like, you guys are still you can't just say that game sucks or that part of the game sucks when you're still working for the same company. Like, it just came off as weird to me that they were just like kind of saying things that were bad about PoE 1 and things they wanted to change in PoE 2. The whole thing just was strange in that regard. So I'm curious what happens a year from now, and if they stick to this idea that like PoE 1 is going to continue to exist and evolve as its own game, and PoE 2 is going to exist and evolve as its own game. We'll see, right? Like anything can happen in a year, I think is really where my mind is at. It's also very evident.
It is interesting that they put all this out there and then said it's a year, which makes me wonder, like, if they're doing this specifically so they can make any major changes.
In PoE 2, you mean?
Huge based on huge community feedback kind of thing.
Well, yeah, that's the whole other side of the thing, is they had plenty of streamers. So like this is the official like gameplay showcase that the developers were playing on stage, and it was all very much, it wasn't pre-recorded or anything, and he died fighting the boss, so it was like a real demo. When the streamers got into those gameplay showcases, specifically the first 2 or 3, there are factors, and I do want to state that they were playing the game like it is PoE 1, but it looked fucking bad. And like the general community consensus was that it looked like ruthless, and it looked way too hard, and it looked not fun. But then they got Kriparian.
Really?
Yeah, they got Kriparian to play it, and he played it like it was PoE 2, and he played Act
PoE
2,
1?
or yeah, he played it like it was a different game, like it's PoE 2. In Act 2, which is what he played, the gear wasn't as crazy when it came to the scaling, so like the gear was appropriate for the content that he was fighting, and he was using a new character, and it looked awesome. Like it looked super fun. And so I think like having the streamers play the different gameplay showcases was a kind of a bad call.
Just so we're on the same line here. When you say one looked bad and one looked fun, are you saying that when it looked fun, he was killing like more enemies quicker, more movement? Like what is a very subjective term? So I'm wondering what that means kind of in concrete
Mathel
terms.
started his gameplay stream yesterday. He walked into the first pack of mobs, died in 8 seconds to it.
Okay.
That's not a good
dodge roll? He dodge roll.
He dodge rolled into them, maybe. He didn't really. He
okay,
just like
because
walked
the
into
dev
them and died.
specifically said if you don't dodge roll, you're gonna die to the first pack of mobs like 4 times.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Again, he was playing it like it's PoE 1, but regardless of how he was playing it, it still didn't come across as like, wow, that looks fun. It was like, wow, this looks like ruthless PoE. And for a lot of people, that's not the game they want to play because it's not what you're used to in other aspects of PoE.
Okay.
But like I said, Kriparian playing in Act 2, which is maybe something that was not super overtuned, it looked really good. I really enjoyed that aspect of it.
Here's an interesting thing to think about. Do they want this game to feel completely different because they want to just keep developing and making PoE 1 for those that prefer that type of gameplay?
Yes and no. I mean, they did state like they did say that the game will speed up as you get higher level and get gear, and like it will look like PoE 1 in some aspects, but it's not going to be the same craziness of PoE 1 on like the hardcore side where you're clearing a map in like a minute or whatever, right? Like you're just zooming across the entire map.
Because I have to admit, I mean, in watching even the devs play it during the main showcase, I thought it looked pretty cool. Looked a lot slower, looked a lot more tactical, a lot more methodical.
Yeah,
I don't
I thought that
necessarily
aspect
need
looked good.
Yeah, I don't need to, go through a map like Sonic, clearing everything as fast as possible, just, listening for drops that I'm not even going to see drop because I'm so far ahead.
Yeah.
So it makes me wonder if maybe that's even accentuating the fact that they're trying to make it a completely separate game. Like they're trying to actually fork the gameplay style of the game into like slower tactical 2, speedy Sonic style 1, and then kind of lean into those as they continue to schism.
It was as someone who's like seen the criticism around PoE 1's ruthless mode, which for people that don't play, it's a mode that was recently introduced that is like exponentially harder. It's a lot slower. You can't, resources are a lot more scarce. It felt like ruthless was the testing ground for PoE 2. And that is worrisome to me as someone who thinks ruthless mode is like not the type of experience that I'm looking for. And maybe the answer to that is like, oh, well then just play PoE 1. Maybe that's the
and maybe
answer.
maybe that's what they're looking for.
Yeah.
A couple things. They from Eero Auric says they said they will not have Quicksilver, movement skills, or benchcraft in PoE 2.
Yep.
So it does seem like they're absolutely leaning into that.
Yeah.
And then Proka says the gear and build the demo character started with had almost no defensive stats, which is a big reason they were dying so easily, and then linked a Reddit thread.
Yeah.
It looks like they tried to comb over them in. And that's also interesting considering how big of a deal that is in PoE.
It was the gear was kind of rough. 100%.
That's interesting that they did that for sure.
And so that it was, like I said, having watched like almost everything that they showed, I was very like conflicted in opinion. Like again, I started off very much into it when watching
very different.
This. Yeah,
very different. The boss fight, I will say, the boss
fights look great.
No, I think they're way too spongy.
Oh, for me, I think they look great.
I thought, especially
let me
like,
show you.
Here's the thing that I was plugging into. The dude got 50% through and then died.
Yeah,
and then when he went back in, you could almost see him not having fun.
Sure.
And it makes me wonder if like maybe that's just a gear thing. Maybe it'll speed up a lot with that. But like it. And yeah, chat is making the very good point where it's like it very well could have been just 100% gear dependent. But I will say that like that looked. I loved the mechanics. I loved the look, but the whole fight could have taken half as long, and I think it would have been just fine.
Yeah. So
but it looked great. Like that was the only part about it that I thought was a little weird.
So
I felt like he was just poking him with a little tiny toothpick kind of thing.
Funny that I just showed him dying. In Kriparian's playthrough, he had a random item drop. And he crafted on it, and it rolled percentage for physical damage, so he got a better weapon. The second that he got that weapon, it immediately shifted to more like PoE 1 style gameplay. Like things started dying. He got an upgrade. He got a like level appropriate gear for the mobs that he was fighting, and it looked so much better. This is after he had already swapped off of that because he's playing the Act 4. This is towards the end of Act 2, which he was playing the Huntress, I think. They announced a shit ton of classes. But like that ability right there, the lightning spear, the one where he's just chunking it down, like packs are dropping as fast as they do in PoE 1. And that's where I was like, oh, great. Like it's still there. It still has that aspect of like you're able to kill a lot of mobs at a very quick pace. And so if anything, out of all the different gameplay sessions that they had, Kriparian's session, which was admittedly 30 minutes longer than anyone else had with the game on stream, his was an hour, everyone else's was 30. It looked the best. This is when I was like, okay, great, I'm on board. I'm into it. And the class looked fun. And it might have been also because everything that's here is not in PoE. And so it was this like, okay, this is a different game. You're not seeing similar skills. You're not seeing the similar classes. It's a whole new thing. Also, yeah, mobs drop gold. Another giant, massive change. All the merchants, they basically wanted them to like have meaning instead of not have meaning, like they currently are in PoE 1. So everyone uses
just
gold.
So much easier to understand.
Yeah,
it's so much easier. I mean, the
other stuff does exist.
Where it's like.
The other
things
still exist.
It's always had usefulness for what it is, and then it was a currency on top of that.
Yeah.
So now to have it, but it's not like, a nickel, dime, and quarter. Like it was just like arbitrary, randomly assigned things at different areas. So I personally love the gold change. I think it's going to make it a lot easier also for new players to kind of understand how all that works and not have to rely on, these arbitrary tables of value and stuff. So
yeah,
I think that's great.
Yeah. There is a lot of other stuff. We're getting into the weeds.
Also, I love gold.
You love gold? Well, how do you feel about stackable gold only to 5,000 and it takes up inventory slots?
I think you is what I think about that. I think
that
we need to. I think there's a year to do testing and feedback, and I think that changes can be made, and I think that's okay overall.
Yeah, there's some interesting.
I can't wait to hear how much the gold stash tab is what I'm trying to say.
Exactly, and it just
stackable up to 500,000 per slot. Yes, absolutely.
Exactly.
It does make me wonder if there's like no stacks of gold in your bank. I wonder if it's just a mechanic to make it so you can't carry a ton on you. And then you get back to your bank and it's like, boom, you can just deposit it kind of thing. But
yeah.
I will say the idea of like limiting the total amount of gold you can carry on you to as many stacks of 5,000 as you can have in your character. Like it's good. The big thing is it's going to be interesting to see what they do with gold because we don't know that yet. We know generally it's going to be used for NPC trading, but are they expecting it to become a currency that players trade with each other? Because
they were asked
that's
that.
Gonna.
Jonathan said it most likely you'll still use everything else for trade just because gold will kind of, it's like, do you trade Town Portal and Scroll of Identity scrolls?
Cat is saying they said straight up no. Gambling and NPC stuff. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. That makes sense.
But again, it's up to the players because it's a player run economy. So maybe there will be some sort of trading aspect for it. I don't know.
We'll see.
We will see. It was a lot. There's a lot of stuff that they talked about. And again, beta is a year out, which means that we're 18 months out from live, maybe even longer than that. And then you have to factor, like the meme of the weekend was like D4 bad, right? Like D4 is in the honeymoon phase of Diablo 4 is over. And I think the recent patches have also put kind of a stain on that game. Even they even did
with D4 might be over, but our new girlfriend ain't getting here for a year. So
that's exactly right. And you have to think if we're 12 to 18 months out, that means D4 has 5 to 7 seasons and possibly one expansion to, quote unquote, get good.
And think about Diablo 3's progression when it released. I mean, yeah,
that's right.
That's wild. That's wild.
So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's okay though, because we get Last Epoch soon. Woo.
We get what?
Last Epoch.
Last
Epoch is supposed to be in 4 or 5 months, I think. We'll see.
Yeah. ARPG folks are eating good. Anyways,
Last Epoch can be our temporary girlfriend.
Maybe. Yeah.
Friends with ARPG with benefits.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So if I have this straight, like there is no playable anything right now of PoE2, right?
Correct.
Nope.
Okay.
Unless you were there in person, then you could play.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah. And there won't be for a year. Which again, that was it really like took the wind out of the sails of the entire announcement of like
a little bit.
Here's 2 hours of like, oh yeah, this looks cool. I'm excited. They're talking about it so much. And you can potentially play it in a closed beta session a year from now. It's important to add though, respect for the when it's done.
Totally. Respect for the when it's done. If there's anyone that knows how much people want PoE2, it's GGG. They absolutely could rush something out the door if they wanted to. And it would probably be a mess and it probably wouldn't be fine-tuned, but it would get the people what they want and it would shut them up. So the fact that they actually did all this and they were still like, sorry y'all, but it's still going to take us another year. It's like, I feel somebody needs to be like, okay, thank you. Take your time when it's ready.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sucks, but hopefully that just means the product is going to be that much cooler when it gets here.
That's the hope. We will see.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Not 1 year, 2 years. That's true. It's beta in a year.
Beta is in 12 months. Yeah.
Beta's in
or
June
11
2024.
Yeah.
So.
Are you hearing that too, Zeke? The like slamming? Is that what you
is that?
I don't know if that's me. Is that in Co's house? There's something slamming.
I think
I don't know what it is.
I'll keep an ear off.
Yeah.
It
I'm gonna
very
look
well
out
could
my
be
front door
kids.
and see if there's construction or something. Hold on. Okay, now of course it's gonna take forever to load. I don't know what that is. It kept chat saying they
It's going
heard
on
it as
now?
well. No, I'll tell you
Okay.
next time it happens.
Mm.
Right.
Chat's hearing it though, so I know I'm not.
I was
crazy.
slamming my desk, accentuating my points. Was that it?
Maybe,
I tend to do that.
might be,
Yeah.
might be the case.
Slam it again, just real quick, as a test.
No, I wasn't really doing that.
Oh fuck!
I don't know.
I was looking forward to you showing a real emotion, and I
don't
guess
do
I
that.
was.
Wow.
No.
Was it this? No, that's not it. That I did this, but that's not it. I have a bunch of magnets that I'm fidgeting with. 'Cause that's what I do. Anyways, PoE 2 will be. They also announced PoE 1. They got a new league coming out. I think or August 18th. That was
Auto
all
battling.
yeah, it's got auto battling in it. Yeah, it was just there.
Wait,
again.
I'm sorry.
Did you just hear it?
What has that? What has that?
PoE is
1.
getting auto battling.
It's got auto battling in it. But you still have to play the main game, Zeke.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, it's not.
Again.
Yeah. The new league seems a little. It seems like a lot. We'll see how. It might be too much of a league mechanic for me to be like super. I don't know. We'll have to see. I want to see more about it before we. Before
I love how
fully judge.
excited that Chris gets about all the leagues and stuff, and like he was like tripping over himself, like being so pumped about releasing the stuff that was coming up later in the presentation.
Yeah.
The only thing I will say though is I do kind of feel they should have reversed the presentation.
PoE
I think it would have been
first,
probably
PoE
better to
1
have
first, yeah.
PoE 2 at the end, because I think a lot of people were like really hyped about PoE 2, and then it's like, and then another PoE league came on, and they glazed over a little bit, you know.
Yeah. It just happened again right there, Zeke. I don't. It's not anything that's out in front of me. I will say this about taking a step back and not talking about PoE in general, but about ExileCon. The first person to walk out on stage was not a GGG employee. It was Kriparian. Like they put a content creator to like welcome everyone to the show, as well as, you know, Krip being very involved in PoE 1 and being a massive streamer of the ARPG world, blah, blah, blah. But still, they incorporated like content creators and streamers into their show, just like they did for the first
The whole
ExileCon.
pre-show was streamers.
Yeah, very, very well. Yeah, yeah. It just did it right there again. I don't know what the fuck's happening.
Okay, it's not me.
It feels like someone's stomping on the floor.
Yeah,
It honestly it takes me back
I don't know what
to
that
when
is.
I was old enough to move out of the bunk bedroom with
I'm
my
not hearing
brother,
it.
and I got to go to the basement and have my own room, and that's how my dad would call me up, like if I had like if dinner was ready or I had a phone call or something.
Bang, bang,
He
bang.
would stomp on the floor
Yeah.
to get me upstairs. That's what it feels like. I'm like,
It might be
"Dad,
one of my
Dad, Dad,
mods
what?
trying to escape the
Am I in
dungeon.
trouble?
Is there thunder?
No, I
Do you guys
lost it.
have weather in your area? It's clear skies outside for me. I don't know what it is. Your chair is wiggling though. That's just my leg. I have the nervous bounce, the anxious bounce. So it's not that. I don't know. I'll keep an eye on it. Next time I hear
Wait a
it.
second. I'm too curious. I gotta go check.
Okay. I'll keep an eye on the sound levels next time it happens and keep an eye on it. Yeah, PoE, ExileCon. It was cool. We'll have more people on. I will say, go watch that ARPG panel one more time. It's definitely worth watching. It's really cool to see the people that they had on talk about the things that they talked about. So that is that. Did you watch any of the FanFest stuff from Final Fantasy XIV? They announced new expansion. I'm forgetting. Dawntrail? Yes.
I haven't seen the thing. Tell me about it.
I mean,
All right.
all we got is like
Mystery solved.
Oh, it is. It's you. What is it?
Yep. I went out and asked Katie, and she said, "Yeah, it's someone with a very large sound system in their car that's kind of circling
Driving
the
up and down.
neighborhood." Yeah.
Fun.
And
Really?
it's just going, yeah, and it's hitting the walls and going.
Holy shit, that's loud.
No, I know. Yeah. Oh,
For that to be able to show up on a mic, that is,
When the bass kicks, JP. When the bass
holy
kicks.
crap, that is crazy. God damn. Okay. Anyways, yeah, Final Fantasy XIV Dawntrail was announced. I'll roll the trailer here at the past. in the background. It's definitely a reset. It's definitely the beach episode for Final Fantasy XIV. I don't want to say spoiler. You're going to the new world, I guess is how you would say
the
them.
filler expansion?
A lot. So that's a lot of the complaints is a weird term. That's a lot of the criticism of what was shown is that people are worried that it's going to be inconsequential and it's not going to have meaning. But like with what happened in the prior expansion, what the fuck do you
where
want
do you
them
go
to
from
do?
here?
They have to reset things. They have to like set up a new arc. It has to be a thing.
By the way,
Can
can I just say,
ginger,
here's the thing.
like in between like
Okay.
bites of awesome sushi. This is the ginger. It's like, here's your palate cleanser. Okay, now try the next thing.
Yeah.
We're asking questions knowing that we don't know the answers because, audience, no one has played it yet.
Yeah.
So for us to say, is this the filler episode? And you go, no, of course it's not. No, it's not filler.
Look, man,
See, here's the thing.
14 fans are passionate. Okay.
You haven't played it either. So I love your enthusiasm. but to say that immediately shows.
They're passionate, man. You got to be careful.
Kixel says Yoshi P answer this. Yoshi P is not going to tell you he's releasing a filler expansion. I mean, really? Come on, man.
Also,
yes,
if
this is the filler
noticed-
expansion. You could just skip this one if you want. It's really inconsequential overall.
I noticed a couple times
Okay.
already that JP says they or them when referring to Final Fantasy XIV people,
Yeah.
as if he's not one of them or a leader of them.
it's that
I'm-
disassociative.
Sure. Well, yeah, I guess when I refer to they or them, it's the naysayers, right?
Okay.
Because
Right.
I'm not perhaps one of them.
So,
yeah.
I'm
real
excited.
talk, real
for
talk.
It,
If it's not filler, then it would basically have to be starting a new arc or
though.
something.
It's starting
'Cause,
a new adventure. Yeah.
Yeah. So is this like I could see it not being filler, but I mean it would have to be relatively wildly different
There
than
would
everything we've seen so far. Have they announced exactly what it is? Is this the new arc's beginning?
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, it's 7.0, so they're starting a new
Okay.
story. They talked a
Are
little
they-
bit about what the story is in terms of like you're going to the new world and you're going to see that new world which you have not seen yet, or heard talked about, and there's a change of leadership potentially happening, and so you're going to kind of deal with
Okay.
that leadership. I think Jesse Cox, who was there in person at FanFest and experienced all that, he had a pretty good theory of what it is on his Twitter account in terms of the greater story, but I don't want to get into that because it's major spoilers for the actual
fair.
game itself.
You said it's on his Twitter?
It should be, yeah, at the end of one of his threads. If I can find it or type it in the Drop Frames Discord.
I'm a little curious.
But if that is the case, then I'm pretty excited for that moving forward. We didn't get in. They said that they are going to be showing, they will have 2 new classes. Yoshi P had a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle shirt on, which is usually how they leak classes.
Okay. I
So-
just saw his idea and that, yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, given what happens at the end of Endwalker and that one scene, they kind of talk about that.
Are they
I will
going
say,
like
though,
old
that
Miss
entire
of
suggestion-
Pandaria with this shit? Like with Nindo and like turtles?
I don't know. He was wearing it on screen. Yeah. Ninjas and pirates or something. I don't know.
I will say, I hate to say it, but even that suggestion could be a giant filler arc in itself, though. Like
Potentially, yeah.
It's good. I'm very. I'm gonna be there. A lot of people have asked me because I stopped playing Final Fantasy XIV after I finished Endwalker.
Right.
But they're kind of like, "Are you done with it?" No, I'm not done with it. I'm definitely planning on. I mean, Endwalkers was the whole arc was amazing. But it's interesting because, like I've realized with Final Fantasy XIV, it's not really an MMO to me. It's more of like a multiplayer RPG, but it's not really like an MMO. I don't really have an urge to just kind of like exist in Final Fantasy XIV like I do other MMOs.
Right.
But I love the main story and I love seeing those cutscenes for the first time. And it really does. It's a very unique beast in terms of how it feels more like a single player game. Like more importantly, not like an existing world. but a linear story. Like that's why I play
they're-
14, and I can't wait to play more of that.
They're kind of positioning it to be that in a lot of ways, with the fact that they, I think, just said in 6.5, the next patch, that every dungeon will now be able to be played with AI. So you don't even have to see people to play every dungeon in the game. You still have to see people to do the trials. So you can't play through the whole main story by yourself. You still have to interact with 7 other people every once in a while, as well as the Alliance raid, which is 23 other people every once in a while. But every MSQ dungeon is playable in October with AI, which is kind of cool.
There you go.
If you don't want to interact with other humans and play a game by yourself, play a single player story that arguably might be one of the best Final Fantasy stories to exist, you could do that.
Definitely the most content.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was, so a couple of the other announcements. Stormblood is now a part of the free trial, which means you get basically 150 to 250 hours for
Now
free.
it's even more critically acclaimed.
Yeah, it's even more critically acclaimed. That was pretty big. And then things that got like the community excited, which when I say this to people that have not played the game, they'll be like, what? You're going to be able to use 2 dies on a single piece of gear now.
What?
And so that's fucking huge. That's like the biggest announcement in the fucking...
Oh, like a primary and secondary color?
Yeah, on a
Oh,
singular piece
okay.
of gear, which is like huge.
Pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I'm
So
here for
big, yeah, so big that like the guild, the auction house just erupted the next day in prices for different.
That's
dyes.
gonna and they're making that so all existing armor can be 2-toned.
They're gonna go back and do as much armor as they can. Yeah. The dye
That's
market
actually
is
huge.
wild.
I
Yeah,
can finally get the white and red color scheme I was going for.
exactly.
I was not able to do. That's awesome. It's actually awesome.
That was there. There's another thing that's really getting in the weeds about alliance queuing, that you can't drop your gear score to the lowest possible gear score to queue for one of the alliance raids, so that you can just play the same fucking alliance raid over and over. And so that was another big deal. And then, and maybe the weirdest tone shift and change in the entire show, Yoshi P brought Phil Spencer out, and they announced that Final Fantasy XIV is going to Xbox. And man, did that shows like, I like Phil. I'm a fan of his. It got real weird when he showed up, because the entire mood shifted from like Yoshi P and like how Yoshi P has his cadence and his who he is and how he interacts with the community. And Phil walked down and was like very much the corporate entity at that show. And they had the CEO of Square also out there, who's a newer CEO. And they like, it got old school E3 where they all like put their hands together and did like a triple person handshake to like celebrate Final Fantasy. It got weird, man. It was so
okay.
weird.
Did they put their hands in the middle and go cowabunga?
Yeah, a little. It was a strange thing, man. I don't. It was, and like Phil.
Wait. Hold on. I got the perfect analogy, right? Was it awkward like the high fives and high tens that you see like mostly white families doing, like Family Feud?
Yes.
Like,
yes. Let me try to find a video of
or
it.
like, yeah, and it's just terrible.
If someone can link me that clip or link me the link in the full VOD, that'd be great. I would like to show everyone how awkward that was.
Very corpo.
Yeah, very corpo.
Very corpo.
With him there. That being said, it's also a massive fucking deal for Xbox to be brought into the fold there, and him also saying like this is kind of our first step in bringing more Final Fantasy titles to Xbox. Pretty much saying that like 16 will eventually show up on it, and who knows what else will show up on it. A really interesting thing to have him there, especially when it's been like rumored and wanted for so many years now for Xbox to be brought into the Final Fantasy XIV ecosystem. And that also means that Xbox will have ESO, Xbox will have Final Fantasy XIV, and Xbox will eventually have WoW, kind of all under one thing. It's weird. It's a weird thing to think about, that like That's all going to be available in that ecosystem.
I wonder if 14, did they mention anything about 14 in Game Pass?
No, they did not mention Game Pass whatsoever.
Interesting. So tell me about the graphics update.
Here's the best thing I could say about the graphics update, because I'm excited for it. But when they were showing the graphics, they would do like the before, and then they would do the same scene after. Every time they showed it, I got debated by freaking out when they showed the before, and then going, "Wait a minute, that's not the update. That's the before." And I think, like it looks good. They're doing a lot. They can add a lot more in, specifically like plants and vegetation. Like things actually look dense, and forests look like forest. But it's not the PS4 to PS5 era swap.
So we've covered the expansion, the Xbox stuff, the graphics update, but I think it's about time we really get to the main announcement. Tell me about Fall Guys.
Fall Guys Final Fantasy is going into Fall Guys, and Fall Guys is going into Final Fantasy. They are going to have a course, a level. Are
they calling it Final Fall Guys?
No, it's
what the is wrong with it?
It's Fall Guys in Final Fantasy, I think, is the official brand.
No, it's
basically a Gold Saucer course. If you've played like any of the gates in Gold Saucer, the jumping puzzle stuff, I think it's going to be that. I'm
not okay with this, by the way. I just want to go on the record saying that.
Yeah. It's weird. Fall Guys is not necessarily in the news as of late. And so I'm very
interesting how
I wonder
how
why.
that came about.
Yeah, I wonder why now that they decided to do that collab. It's not bad, but
somebody in chat said they fell off. They did.
They did.
They did.
They did.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I think that there's didn't someone copy Fall Guys and now that's the bigger game?
It's literally called Stumble Guys.
Stumble Guys. And isn't Stumble Guys huge?
They did it. They made a huge push on Twitch. I think Lyric did a big thing. Like they actually made a big thing. I'm still to this day baffled. Like just the shamelessness in like Stumble Guys.
I
guess, man.
It's very you're 100% hitting the nail on the head. It's shamelessness. But hey, if they put out more content,
Stumble Dudes was taken.
Yeah, it's mobile as well. It's a big deal.
Yeah, I think the big thing about Stumble Guys, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's free to play.
Yeah.
So I think that was the big thing.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. They
didn't make Fall Guys free to play, did they?
I don't.
Yeah, maybe they did. I don't even.
Oh, did they?
Oh, I think they did when they moved it to Epic, right? Didn't they move it to Epic or something?
Oh, they did. Okay.
Yeah, I think they did it when they did that.
Yeah. Anyways, here's the handshake. You guys can. Here's Phil on stage. Also, everything was translated.
Look at Yoshi P compared to these guys.
I know.
Like the ripped jeans and like the hair, and then this is like a progression from right to left, like in like the corpo tiers.
Yeah.
Like first you're like super chill guy, and then you're like, yeah, but I got a jacket on, but I'm still pretty corpo, and then it's just like corpo.
Also, you want to hear the biggest shocking news that I learned?
Phil's wearing a windbreaker or leather kind of zip up. Like
Phil does a great job of straddling the line between the guy you want to get drinks with and the guy that actually runs a company. Like he's always done a good job of like, he's never like super casual. Like he's always but he's never full corpo. He's like kind of right there in the middle a little bit.
Unless he goes to court, in which case.
Yes.
Unless he goes to court. He's a boss.
Then he's a Yakuza boss.
Yeah.
That's a little different.
Here's the most shocking news from the weekend. Outside of beats PoE 2, beats the expansion. This man is 48 years old.
No, he's 25. That's
not. He is 48 years old.
No, he's not.
It's fucking.
What the fuck have I done?
I'm so upset that man is 48.
That man is on the third year of his job after college, and you will not convince me differently.
He's 2 years younger than Yoshi P.
On my birth certificate, I am 5 years younger than him. On my face, I am 100 years older than him.
I'm so upset at this, man. Shocking.
Wow.
Shocking. Anyways.
Wow.
That was that. That's the awkward handshake. Very weird.
That is actually wild, dude. The guy easily could pass for like 30 years old.
Yeah.
No joke. If even.
Without question.
Whew.
So yeah, that was
His name is Kiryu?
his last name is Kiryu. His last name is Kiryu.
Oh, what a badass. Oh my god, dude.
He was pretty he is a fan of NFTs, kind of.
And we're lost.
But at the same time, like he seems like a pretty all right guy. Like he had a lot of enthusiasm there. And
That's right. And it's gone.
yeah, he had a lot of he's a Final Fantasy XIV. He said he didn't watch any of the trailer because he didn't want to watch it there and the audience. And like he was personable. He was good.
Later in chat goes, explains the youth he sold his soul to the devil. I mean, there you go. There you go. Done.
Accurate. Yeah, 100% accurate. What else is happening in the world of
Baldur's Gate comes out in 4 days.
It does. Dude, is that guy still driving around, Zeke? Go chase him down, because I just heard it like 3 times in a row in the past. You
need to go out there, stand in the street.
Get off of
I'm
my
on a gaming talk show on the internet, and I do not have to deal with this.
You say that
Podcast.
but then you probably, I'm gonna guess, don't live across the street from drug dealers.
Oh,
like I do.
Well, go get him some drugs then, Zeke. That's probably
get
what he
him some
wants.
drugs, Zeke. Drug dealers love drugs.
I don't think I have the drugs that they want, though.
Okay.
And are accustomed to, and I don't have enough for them to distribute.
Do you need some meth? I'm in Missouri, the meth capital of the U.S. I can go track some down and get it over to you.
I can whip you up some. I'm from Montana, man. I can whip you up some
that
meth.
is true. I forget. You are correct.
Okay.
I
Breaking Zeke
apologize.
over here.
Yeah,
all right.
I apologize.
I mean, it's honestly just like an Instacart from Lowe's, and Albertsons, like it's that quick.
I get it. Everyone knows Albertsons got the best meth. Everyone knows that. They're known for their meth there at Albertsons.
No, it's just, you have to buy certain household items. You know what? I'm gonna pretend like I don't know how to make meth.
There we go. I'm glad I didn't have to say anything there.
Video games.
Video games
was in the news this past week as they have canceled. This is going to you. The Immortal Fenyx Rising sequel.
Yeah, man, I was disappointed by this. Apparently, they felt that the Immortals brand did not have the market penetration. Matt loves that word. To unfortunately warrant a sequel, which is really unfortunate because I was one of the people that actually played Immortals Fenyx Rising all the way through, and I loved it. It was great. It was really fun. The comedy was on point. Like, I was looking forward to more. Especially since it sounded like the new one was going to have like the guy's going to be a shapeshifter. It was a new pantheon of gods. Like it sounded very cool. So yeah, I was pretty bummed. Heard it got canned. Apparently the leak that announced that being canceled also included some other things being canceled that they're saying are going to come out.
Oh.
So unfortunately there may be some other dominoes falling as well that we have not yet heard of.
Okay.
But apparently there was a fat trim, if you will, of games that they didn't think would make them money, and that was one of them. Yeah.
Got it.
More nipples.
Yeah, I guess so. Back on this is the last time I'm going to mention it. Zeke, I think it might be something near me because I'm hearing it nonstop and it's bothering. It's like my cats are somehow like 700
Why am
pounds.
I not hearing it?
Then it must be me.
I'm not hearing it.
It must be
Cat?
me.
What's going on here? Okay, PS Fanatics says he's hearing it. I'm seeing most people saying they're not hearing it. I am not hearing anything.
Maybe I'm going insane.
How are you? Was all the Final Fantasy talk? Is your heart?
I might be going
too
insane.
much
I do hear things.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Last time
some people in chat are saying they do hear it. Okay.
I do have very sensitive ears.
Renee says, I hear dead people. Renee, that's not what we're talking about right now. We talked about this.
You got to talk to someone about that. Preacher. You need a... Got to have a exorcism.
Anyway,
What else is happening? Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart came out on PC, and no one's playing it. It had less than 9,000 concurrent players on Steam, which is the third worst launch for a PC or a PlayStation 2 PC game, which
no kidding.
doesn't necessarily surprise me. I feel like that's it's kind of like PlayStation fans play Ratchet and Clank and not much else. I think it's also a $70 game.
Is
Which
it on PC?
Yeah, they should have if it was like a $40 game, I could see that. I think it's worth 70 having played it to completion. That being said, you make it like 40 or 50. Don't sell that for full price.
It's a little soon to double dip.
Yeah.
And it's not like the Capcom situation where you're like actually getting like double the frames and stuff like that, from what I understand. You know, it's a little different when you're going from a PS5 to a PC.
Right.
It's not quite oomphy.
Right.
It's a little rough.
Also,
okay, Chad is saying it is 60.
Oh,
but
it's
that's
okay.
even then, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
A little high.
It is a good port too, which I think the Last of Us port left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth, because that was abysmal when that game launched on PC, and that sticks with people. It takes a couple of releases to get rid of that stain.
Chad is bringing up the good point. It's also a 2-year game they're charging $60 for. Year-old game. That is a consideration as well.
Yeah.
Why does Co hate freedom capitalism? I love it when it makes me money. Not when it costs me money.
Sure.
Those are two very different things.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Remnant 2 is doing very well. They had 100,000
Cool
people
game.
playing.
Remnant 2 is awesome.
Doing super well. Yeah.
Yep. Remnant 2, it pretty much improves in the base game in every way. It does make a couple decisions that some people aren't super jazzed about, especially pertaining to armor and stuff of that nature. But I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I even finished it and then went back and played it for another stream just to have fun camping, and I still may even go back and do some more.
Yeah.
But no, Remnant 2, man, it is solid. It is a solid game for sure.
Yeah. I didn't.
Solid.
We talked about it last week, so we won't spend too much time on it. But I did not go back and play it. I ended up watching. I think it might have been. I think it was Soda Poppin', and I just saw a couple more boss fights. Maybe I saw all the bad boss fights, but I didn't think the boss fight that I did, which was did you do quote unquote all the boss fights? Do you see all the boss fights in a single run?
I have done probably no, you don't.
You don't? Okay.
Not unless you do adventure mode.
Got it.
But I've seen probably 70% of the bosses.
Okay, I did. So the one that I fought that I was complaining about last week was the sewer boss that has the orb that floats around, and then there's 2 orbs, and one of the orbs.
Yes.
Oh, so that's what I did as the dog. That was
character. Very, very frustrating.
Yes.
I had a very frustrating time with. There are a few bosses in the game.
I saw all the bad ones then. Yeah.
That one is a frustrating fight, particularly with the ladders and the fact that it hits you on the ladders, and then you're expected to dodge in a small area and not fall in, but the camera doesn't show your feet. So it's there were some decisions in some of the bosses that breed frustration.
Yeah, that's a good way to say it. That's a good way to say it.
But there are also bosses that are just great. There are
Okay.
also bosses that are just awesome. The last boss is a trip. Dude,
I heard that was good. Yeah.
The last boss is a trip. It is incredibly difficult, but it's that kind of difficult where you just kind of keep doing it and learn the patterns. And then you may notice a little thing that makes it easier. And then you may notice a little thing about the transitions that make me it gets to the point where it's just by the time you beat it, you're just yeah, that felt good. It's very much Elden Ring feeling in that in those regards, where it's you fight the boss a couple times and you're there's no way I am ever going to beat this boss while air is entering this mouth and these lungs. It is just not, it is not a possibility in this realm of reality. And then 2 hours later, you're you beat it. And you're that was awesome. That felt good. You just make little progress every time, little progress. And it was very well done. Very well.
Nice. What did you end up swapping classes?
Yes, I ended up maining engineer, and then I would switch my subs around to I did some summoner. I had a summoner side that I was doing. I would go back to handler sometimes just for the passives because they were kind of good. I will say that there's some weird things about Remnant 2, especially pertaining, and granted, I was playing on Nightmare, so I think this was kind of accentuated, but it was a little bit strange because like I started as Handler, and I played Handler for a big majority of the game before I fundamentally understood that it's not a strong class. Like compared to other, it's not a strong class. There are some boss fights that invalidate the class, same as Summoner. Like literally, like if you're outside of using some of the passives, 90% of the classes is going to work because your pet's just going to get either one shot at the beginning or within it. So the problem with that is that it's good that there's adventure mode, but the length of time it takes to level up a new class to like viability, I mean, it's literally hours and hours and hours.
Really?
Sometimes like multiple adventure modes to get a class from 0 to like, I'd say between 5 and 10, which is when things kind of start to shine. 10 essentially is the max.
Okay.
And yeah, that'll take you like probably 3 to 5 adventure zones, I think, all the way through. And those can take a couple hours apiece. So I will say that it was a little, okay, people are saying you can farm 1 to 10 in 40 minutes. Yeah, you can if you like know exactly where to go and min max and you reset and do stuff like that. I'm talking about normal players. Come on now, slow down, Power Gamer. But yeah, it's the kind of thing where I did kind of get a little bit screwed because I definitely got to a point where like I clearly was relatively underpowered because I wasn't picking the right classes. I just happened not to be picking the right classes.
Yeah.
And that was a little unfortunate. Like and I was and the game does have some bugs, which made the experience a little bit more difficult. But yeah, I mean it was still awesome. Even with all that, it was still awesome. And it is an important disclaimer to say I was playing on Nightmare, which is designed to be super difficult. So it's
And you were also playing solo, because
I was playing Nightmare in solo.
Fun factor goes up for most people when you add friends into that game, from everyone that I've seen talk about it. So, yeah, people are enjoying it. They've done some cool stuff as well. Like people started getting into the source code, and that unlocked a class for everyone.
Archon,
which is kind of a fun.
So they
thing.
data mined the game, and the data mine essentially showed
Not
that you
source
needed
code,
to
data
have
mined. Yeah.
this exact, or like you had to be wearing all of these proper items, and then this door would open in the labyrinth, which would then get you the Archon thing. You basically had to cosplay another character in the game.
Huh.
And the thing is some of those items required boss farming, some of them required beat of the game. Like they're from all over the map and how you get the items. So it was a very interesting little community-driven discovery thing. Apparently,
awesome.
After it was data mined, the devs were like, "Yeah, we were expecting you guys to do this." So, kind of fun there.
That's good. I like that. I'm a fan of that. Project L had a big day on Monday, I think.
Was that the running title for Zitter?
For what? For Zitter?
Project L.
Oh, it's the Riot
This is the Riot fighting game.
Yeah.
So it's like actually pretty huge. I heard about this, but I haven't seen a single thing about it. Like how are we looking?
Yeah, it's looking really good. They put out some gameplay footage of it. It'll be playable at EVO this weekend. My wife is actually going to EVO. I'm kind of jealous of her. She'll be there at the booth. But yeah, they're gonna have playable stuff. They announced it's 2v2. And you could have 2 people on one team fighting one person playing 2 people, which is kind of crazy. That's like not been done before. So you can tag a friend in, and then the friend will take over and start playing the game. And that's going to be like all in the same mode. So it essentially means that we could hang out with Justin Wong and become friends with him, and then he could carry us to victory. And when he tags us in, all we have to do is like a move.
That's weird. All of a sudden, I feel a growing interest in fighting games.
Yeah, Justin Wong seems kind of like a cool guy. I think we should maybe have him on the show and become.
I've always thought he was pretty handsome.
I always thought he's just a really swell guy.
Very cute smile.
Yeah, just an awesome gentleman.
What a great guy.
It's looking good. It's looking really good. And the things that they are talking about and showing, like the idea that you can have 2 people on one team.
Someone in chat, of course, just said that also means you're an anchor for him. I mean, you're not wrong, but he's just he's good enough where I think that could. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we'll have to.
That's true. But it could.
No, but listen. You've seen like batters getting warmed up in the on deck circle, right? They have that donut around their bat that makes it heavier. That's them.
Yeah,
We're the donut.
We're trading.
We're the donut.
We're trading. That's right. That's
Exactly right.
Okay.
Exactly
So,
right.
quick question here: as a complete noob, are these League of Legends characters?
They are. That's Echo, Ari, and Darius. They're all League of Legends characters. Very
Are there
popular
move
ones.
sets in the game, like their abilities in, like, are they just?
They are similar.
How does that work?
They are similar, but they're not the exact move sets. Here's the other big thing about Project L. There are no move inputs in the sense
Excuse
of
me?
there's no dragon punches. It's forward and you hit the special button. It's Smash Brothers. It's no motion inputs. There's no quarter circle movements anymore. It's back special, down special 2, forward special 1. Like that in itself is kind of exciting because it means that
Interesting.
I don't have to be good at inputting things.
I will say that I especially realized this in Guilty Gear, that the more I play a game, the faster I get at it, which is a ratio and how many misinputs I make.
Exactly.
So like it's especially like with a fight stick, like the amount of times that I would try to do like a full half circle and end up just jumping by accident, like one way or the other, should be illegal. So that's actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's made to broaden the audience, to be honest.
100%.
It sounds like they're trying to make it so more people will be able to play easier.
Yeah.
Which that's been a thing in fighting games for a while, is how to kind of, bridge that gap between beginners and pros.
100%.
How do pros feel about that?
They're all into it because alongside that, there's also a billion fucking things going on in terms of what you can do. There's a lot of systems that exist in the game.
This looks chaotic, man.
It is a little chaotic too. Yeah.
This looks a little chaotic.
It's very much like Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Can you rewind it a little bit, like by 30 seconds? I think at one point all 4 characters were on the screen and attacking.
Sure. Yeah, I'm sure they were. It'll probably happen here in a second. It gets a little right there.
Yeah, like that. I don't.
Because you can catch the tag just like they're doing there. You can catch the tag and he takes damage in the back.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
Oh man, that's gonna be a lot. So one player can play both the people on one side. How does that even work?
You just tag them in, just like any other tag fighter. So you tag them in and they do their special or do whatever.
And that's it. So there's no actual control of them. You're just like using them as a special move, essentially.
Yeah, and you get to choose.
There's
There's like different things that you can choose that when you tag them in, they do. That's all options before you get into the actual combat, before you get into the match. So it's got a lot of depth in it. I think
you can also swap to them. Yeah.
I think
that's where the 2-player thing comes.
I think Maximilian Dude was saying that it's like kind of not beginner friendly at the moment because of how deep it is in terms of all the systems going on. Wow. So they got to find the happy medium there. Kind of Riot is kind of in the same wheelhouse as Blizzard, that they try to find the thing that makes all audiences happy. Sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. It's kind of the holy grail of what they do, of trying to find that happy medium. So we'll see if they do. It will be at EVO. I'm sure they're going to announce. Did they say that they're announcing stuff at EVO? I want to say in the announcement video we just watched, they said something about that. So I'll be watching that. I'm hoping that EVO's letting people co-stream this year. So I'm hoping I can co-stream that. Because I love watching the fighting game finals and everything. And if I can watch that with chat, that'll be super fun. But
it's going to be a new fighter at EVO.
That's what it is. Okay. Yeah. It'll be cool. So that's Project L. This full video is on their YouTube if you want to check it out yourself. Also, all the they had a bunch of content creators out last week. Justin Wong was there, Maximilian Dude, Sajam, Unruly, kind of the fighting game folk that you would expect from the content creator world. We're all there, so you can go check out their videos on all of that news. What else is happening in the world of video games? Sea of Stars went gold. That happened.
I can't wait to not play that for 2 months.
because of everything else around it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're not wrong.
Which one is Sea of Stars again? Is that the Stardew Valley?
No,
so
it's the
like
Chrono
in-
Trigger one.
it's a Chrono Trigger like
Oh,
JRPG.
okay.
Yeah. A
indie
Stardew
game.
Valley-ish game is Palia,
Gotcha.
I think.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
I think if that's what
That's
you're
right,
talking
yep.
Palia comes out, or Palia comes out on Wednesday, and closed
Yeah,
beta,
man.
early beta.
I'm a little disappointed in their options for that. They're
And the
they're
timing,
basically well, no, because what they're doing is they're doing essentially what you could say is a soft launch,
Uh-huh.
because they're doing a beta, but they're not deleting stuff.
Oh,
So it's interesting. I feel like that's gonna unfortunately kind of mute like any big release and stuff, because everyone's gonna be like super established and doing their stuff, and it's not like, yeah, it's a little I'm never a fan of soft launches, especially for games that have multiplayer components. It's always weird when you are running around and you're also running around with people that have been playing for hundreds and hundreds of hours and you just started.
yeah.
Like, and they're decked out and all the end stuff and cosmetics and all that kind of stuff. Granted, I mean, it's a cozy farming / exploring game, so maybe it's not going to be a big deal.
I get what you're saying, though.
But still,
I wish everyone
yeah.
was starting like
Yeah,
There-
man.
there's
Everyone's
a
kind of exploring the
fun-
world
yes.
together and finding it out together. Absolutely. So
There's a
by
fun
the time the
factor
game
to
actually
that.
comes, by the time the 1.0 rolls around, there's going to be like full guides on everything. It's
Exactly.
going to be all
That-
exposed and open.
it would be somewhat similar to like if Remnant 2 was delayed. It was only for content creators, and then a week later, it went to everyone else, and all that stuff was already figured out. Right? The fun factor is figuring stuff out. What game did that happen with recently? There was a game where I complained about that very thing. It was Diablo 4. That's exactly what happened with Diablo 4.
Oh yeah, with the review keys and stuff.
Yeah, with the review keys and all that shit. Yeah, like
I
it was
heard
figured out.
D4 bad.
D4 bad. You're based for saying that. Yeah.
I too.
Am I? I heard it's
D4 bad.
basic. I believe is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Hmm. Interesting.
Some news from Techland. I'm sure you saw this, Co. I'm sure you were privy to this. Tencent is now is it a majority shareholder in Techland. Techland, of course, the company behind Dying Light 2, most recently. Yeah, not unheard of in the world of video
Happened
games.
a lot. GGG has 10-cent fingers. Like
Yeah.
Riot has 10-cent fingers. I mean,
Yeah,
literally,
they're all over the place.
Two of the stuff we've talked about today has had 10-cent influence. So
That was
it's
announced.
just business, man. It's just business.
That's right.
Sucks, but it's just business. Yeah.
It
He's a
is.
business man.
Exactly.
10-cent fingers. That's right. 10-cent fingers.
10-cent fingers are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to see if there's any other news. Starfield put out those like 3 animated the settled systems thing, talking about
Haven't
the
seen
different.
'em. Yeah.
They're fine. It's lore. It's only origin story stuff, like the backgrounds or whatever that you could choose for the
Ha!
character.
10 centicles. Thank you. I will be stealing that.
There
Thank
go.
you.
10-cent.
Thank you so much. That's good. That's good. Sorry. I mean,
No. I didn't have much else to comment on that.
Okay.
I was just scrolling to see if there's other stuff. I think that's it. Unless there's something the two of you saw or want to bring up or chat needs
I
to
like-
remind us of.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like doing this. Chat, what have we missed?
Yeah.
They've been pretty good about this the last few shows. What's some gaming news that we've missed or not addressed? Apex Legends new season, cool. For
Cool.
Apex Legend peoples. That's awesome. Mortal Kombat 1 stuff? Is there Mortal Kombat 1 stuff?
They announced a new trailer, yeah, for a new character in Mortal Kombat. They've done a couple trailers, I think, since past week, since we talked. Oh, here's what the Twisted Metal show. Remember how we saw that and
Hey!
we thought it was going to suck?
Apparently it's good.
Apparently, it's
Yeah.
a really good show.
Dude, I've been hearing
They fucking don't understand what trailers are for.
I don't know.
I've been
dude.
hearing that it's actually a pretty good watch.
It's
I've had
good,
multiple
apparently.
people be like, I've had multiple people say they have gone in with like low to zero expectations and come out with that same good shrug. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. The good shrug, you know what I mean? Where you have to kind of like admit defeat a little bit. It's pretty good. I've heard that from multiple people.
Peacock. Okay. I have Peacock. I'll fucking have to watch it.
Apparently, when we saw that little preview with Sweet Tooth and the guy, apparently that's one of the worst bits of dialogue in the show.
Why the fuck would they show that?
I know, right? Apparently, it's like some of the cringiest dialogue, and I don't use that word often.
There shouldn't be dialogue in the trailer at all. It should be engines, motors, explosions, all of that. The fuck on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wild.
But anyway,
I saw it was good, and I was like, nah, that's a joke. You're lying to me. But no, it's apparently
there you go.
it's apparently a thing. The other Witcher season 3 part 2 episodes came out. I haven't heard good things about it, but it's Henry Cavill's final.
Apparently, he doesn't have a lot of
episodes.
dialogue.
I heard that too in the first part.
Yeah. Which is kind of funny. I wonder if the writers were just like, you know what? If he's not going to shut up, we're going to shut him up.
Well, there was also
How can you, he's playing Geralt of Rivia? How can you tell?
That's a good point too.
Yeah. True.
Yeah.
True. There was,
But no,
hold
yeah,
on,
it was the whole situation's kind of unfortunate. Geralt? Are you?
he's here.
I know, right?
He's here.
Okay.
I'm ready to step in, Netflix. I'm ready to step in. You want? How about a spin-off, Fat Witcher, Fat Old Witcher?
Oh God.
Which are the later years.
So there was a really we don't have to get
Old
into
Man
this,
Witcher, like Logan.
but I do love calling out random stupidity. The Witcher boss, was it the creator of the show or they came out and said that the reason that they cast Anya Chalotra, who plays Yennefer in the show, was to challenge beauty standards. And I gotta think, what the fuck are you? She's like, what? She is
Wait.
so attractive. Like, what are you talking about?
Let me make sure. Okay, Yennefer.
Yeah, they're like one of the most attractive people in that entire fucking show is challenging beauty standards.
And can you imagine how that would make that actress feel?
Yeah.
She's actually gorgeous. What? How do you even?
I don't want to go there, but like.
Oh, okay. Here's the
you don't
full
think
quote.
It has anything to do?
Yeah. Let's get some context.
Here's the full
There's gotta be
quote.
something.
The show's casting director, Sophia Holland, explained how they were able to make a commentary on those standards of beauty with Chalotra's casting. Quote, I remember saying, I feel like we need to challenge what people think of as the standard of beauty, and having a woman of color in this role does incredibly powerful things to people watching. Casting Chalotra as a British actress of Indian descent allowed the show to challenge the unconscious bias of fantasy audiences who would normally think of a beautiful woman as predominantly white.
Okay,
They
you know what?
Worded that so badly.
That's
Jesus
that. You know what that
Christ,
shows?
that's
That shows.
terribly
I feel like
worded.
that shows her bias. Like that's a little weird, man.
yeah.
Like that's.
Yeah, and that said, like, that probably puts her in a fucking shitty position too. It's like, hey, look, we have a person of color, and she's like, what?
I know. She's like,
Yeah, it's yeah.
I could just imagine the closed door, like the second that interview comes out and like Yennefer's actress goes into that woman's trailer. It's like, oh, so I'm your token hot girl? Like what is like, why would you even like, what? Oh my God, dude. It's just, oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
That's-
I agree with a lot of chat saying like, some people just tell on themselves, man. Some people just tell right on themselves, dude.
Yeah.
That's really,
thing.
yeah. That's incredibly strange.
Yeah. Anyways, anything else, chat? We kind of drowned out the rest of the chat that I think was telling us.
Anyway.
There's new Castlevania
Guild Wars 2
trailer.
expansion comes out on the 22nd of August. Good for Guild Wars 2, chugging along, man.
They're doing well.
Chugging
I
along.
think when they went to Steam, they had like highest user base for that show. Like it's in a good place. There's a pretty high chance that I actually might be playing that tomorrow for Community Day. That's what my
Really?
community has chosen for this month. I have
That's
not
cool.
looked at. Dave the Diver is in second, and in first is Guild Wars 2. at this very
Oh,
moment.
you've never played Dave the Diver.
I played it in early access,
You-
so I've played the first
So,
early access part type deal. Yeah,
JP, it's so good.
I know it's good.
So good.
I'm aware. But
Okay.
yeah,
I mean, maybe it's
so
something
I
I
do
need to
think
put
more.
back on my list and give it another look because I bounced off it a little bit.
dude, it's
It's so good.
I-
It's so relaxing and chill, and it just keeps getting better. Like they made entire mini games that I swear they use like 2 times in the entire game.
I haven't heard
and
a
they
negative
they
thing.
made a whole ass mini game for those sections. It's just great. It's great.
I have not heard a
I only
negative
caught,
thing
I only
about
caught part of that ass mini game.
It was actually
I
a
only-
whole ass mini game.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, you eat the sushi, it's got to come out somewhere. You got to feed the fish
Okay.
somehow.
okay.
Nope.
That's
Well,
right.
I mean, I must not have played it to get that far because I'm sure that definitely would have hooked me. I would have gotten to the ass mini game, the whole ass mini game part.
I didn't see this quote. IGN published an article 3 hours ago. Oh, wait. No, this is from the 28th. It was posted to Reddit 3 hours ago. They said the Path of Exile 2 devs, quote, feel sorry for Blizzard amid the Diablo 4 Season 1 struggles. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing.
Well, to be fair, I think anyone with eyes probably feels sorry for them.
Yeah. The full quote is, I mean, ultimately, the learning process for running a live game with seasons like this is a hard one. We learned our lessons about how to do this stuff. Honestly, when I look at that, all I can think of, man, it's tough. It's a real tough situation to be in.
And for the record, when I say that, that is not a slight at Diablo 4. That is having a panel of people who are talented and good at their job be put in front of literally tens of thousands of people and say, we're listening to you. And then people not associated with that come up with a patch that could not prove more that they are not. And then the company actively taking those same people, putting them back in front of 10,000 people to apologize.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for them. That is a shitty position to be put in.
That's
That
rough.
sucks. And it's like it sucks, man. It's scapegoating. And it really, I absolutely feel sorry for them for that stuff. They
Yeah.
had to do an apology episode.
Alexa, tell me the definition of patsy.
100%. Yeah.
I wonder how many echoes you just triggered.
Probably a lot.
Oh
yeah.
shit, yeah, right. I forgot.
A lot well, at least people know. You know.
Yeah. Oh my lord, dude.
Oh man, not a good time for that. But they got a patch in Diablo 4 Wednesday or Tuesday, I think is when that launches. That is changing stuff for. Oh, it's the 8th. Okay, sorry, August 8th. For like they're fixing Sorceress and a couple other things. But yeah, that talking about being put out in front of everyone. They put out that Diablo 4 panel on Friday, and it was going on right at FanFest happening in the morning, and then later that day it was PoE 2. So it didn't even get like the traction I was thinking, or they were thinking that it was going to get potentially. But yeah,
So
anyways.
I've got just that little bit. Like I'm getting different reports. Like someone from my chat said, my Amazon thing just defined Nazi. Mine just defined taxi because that's what it heard me say.
Yeah. People got different
Instead of Patsy.
speaker setups. You know?
All right.
That's how it goes.
That's great.
That's how it goes.
So little bit of this isn't news or anything, but it's
Okay.
something someone in my chat brought up, and I want to bring it up before I forget. You replied to my tweet, JP. About,
Oh, yeah, I don't-
100-month game.
So here, I'll tell you about my thought process.
Okay.
I know where you're at. So the immediate thing is like, oh, get them to play Final Fantasy 14. I know where you're at in Final Fantasy 14. And it would not get you to be excited about the game again, especially give it a single stream. And 2,
8 hours.
yeah. And 2, like it's not like it would actually, I would be if I were you and you told me to put myself in that situation, knowing how your community feels about that game, no one's gonna fucking watch that stream. So I don't want to do that to you business wise. So I don't know what to have you play.
That's very kind of you.
Yeah, I don't know where my head's at in terms. Like if I really truly wanted you to have a bad time, I'd be like, yeah, you should play some Overwatch 2. You know, you should play some Overwatch.
Talk about unwatchable.
Honestly, that might be fun and hilarious.
It might be, yeah. Or play StarCraft 2 single player on the hardest difficulty setting or something like that. Could be cool.
Ooh.
Yeah.
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 That'd be rough.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't like think about this. Like, there's only been 1 or 2 people that have done this, but like, you can ask to do like a co-op game with me. I would love to have a stream like that. Like that could be your 100-month request. Is like I will play a game
You guys
with you or versus
should
you.
invent.
You could whoop my ass in the fucking fighting game all day. Like
You
if-
should
if that
invent
makes
a
you
way to
feel good.
co-op Golem.
I don't want to go back there. I've already been there. I've already
I
been
don't want to
there.
revisit those memories.
I've already been there for 10 hours. Don't make me go back. Don't make me
You guys
go
should
back.
Project L together.
I mean, we could wait. Could potentially happen. I don't know.
Yeah, there's no rush, no time limit, no
Yeah.
nothing on the. You just
trust me,
think-
I've
you
been
just did
thinking
the
about it.
thinky face, and I was like, I thought you had an
I
idea.
have a question. Did you do the Power Stone stream? Did you make that happen?
Nope, I still have
Right
it.
in-
I still have it on deck. I'm just, I know you're a busy dude, so I'm probably just gonna like, I will ask you if there's a day of the week that works best for you, but
Okay.
I'm guessing there's
You
not.
already bought it and spent money on it and everything, right?
I didn't show you.
I think I vaguely remember you talking about it. I don't know if you actually saw it. I love how there's just so much shit back
Yeah.
there.
You don't get to see behind the curtain very much.
Oh, it's an actual. Wow, it's not even like yellowed. Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah, that's a new Dreamcast.
That is actually awesome.
It's a new
There it is.
Dreamcast.
Hell yeah, dude.
Power Stone
Okay.
2.
Okay. Now that you have it, can I change my game?
Yep. You certainly can, my good man. You
Are you
owe
serious?
me $289
You can,
Okay.
You can invoice them.
because
We
that's
can
how
figure that- I
much
could-
both of those
Yeah.
together
Invoice
cost me.
Invoice them. Invoice them. Yeah. Send them an invoice.
All right, I'll have to think about that. It might be worth it because I had some ideas, but we'll see. We'll see.
All right. Fair enough. Yeah, I'll let you know, Zeke, because I think me and Co are putting a lot of thought into. We have a different side or a different point of view than viewers, because viewers are like, play my favorite game, play a game I want you to play because I really enjoy it. For me and Co, I think we both think about the streaming side of it, of like, is this
Sure.
going to be something that would be enjoyable at the same time as like
okay.
suffering for you?
Now, the big thing though, JP, is me and you have
Right,
the
let
opposite
me-
feel on that because
Oh,
I would
okay.
like him to play something that both he and his viewers would hate.
Oh.
So I want nobody to have a good.
You want no one to have
nobody.
fun. Okay.
No.
Let me alleviate a little bit of if you're JP, if you're concerned about like the streaming side, the business side, whatever.
Sure.
That's why I started doing that first Saturday, if then, of every month.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't have to worry so much about numbers during the month because
Okay.
I have that one day a month that I can get my bag, and then I don't have to fucking be really concerned about it.
Sure.
Yeah, and for the record,
So,
the only thing that
If
has
you're
me
thinking viewership, don't worry about it.
Okay.
the only thing that has me seriously questioning this is it might be worth it to me personally, $280 to be able to watch and experience Zeke's first hours in Baldur's Gate 3. That might actually be worth it. To see him make a character and see the decisions and everything
Yeah.
from the beginning, like that. I'm gonna have to think about this. That might be worth it.
Yeah.
Worth it. I'm gonna have to think about it a
It's
little bit more.
yeah.
Both of you, let me know. Let me know.
Okay.
I will.
I've actually
And then I would pay you for your time to then play Power Stone at a later date. I would sponsored stream you. I would yes, I would sponsor your stream to play Power Stone at a later date. Yes, because I don't want to piss off.
It's funny.
John.
People ask like, "Can I give you the money for 100 months of sub to get you to play a game?" Like, no. Sponsored streams are a little bit more than 100 months. Of sub.
do you do the eye flutter too? No.
I charge a little bit more than that. Thank you.
Yeah.
I am in demand. I am worthwhile. I am good enough.
Max Gassy Mexican ran into that problem when I said Max 100 gifted subs to play God of War later today, And then in his chat was like, oh, all it takes. So is that like your rate? Is that like what it takes for a sponsored stream? And Max was like, no, that's not what it takes.
Meanwhile,
JP is a
PR agencies perk up. It's like the spaghetti guy behind the bush. Like $100 an hour.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your business email, friend?
That has stopped. Max no longer does that for me. He doesn't partake in the sponsored streams via gifted subs anymore. And maybe rightfully so. Maybe rightfully so. Anyway,
for anyone wondering in chat, the standard rate is $105 an hour, which is why we're talking about.
Correct.
It's an important distinction.
That's correct. Let's talk about games we've been playing for the rest of the show. Where do we want to begin?
Well, I'll begin with a game that we've all played.
Yeah,
I think we've all played it, and I've been it's been the end of the day game. Like, I got an hour left. Let's do a run of Halls of Torment. And now I'm just playing it on my own time.
It's fucking great.
It's definitely just like fucking. I am just loving this because I don't have to fucking think about anything. It's just like, it's exactly the same feeling that Vampire Survivors gave me when it first came out. And it is just a wonderful, like, time waster. It's been really good.
It's great.
And
it's a hell of a game.
How far did you guys get?
I finished every quest.
I did not.
Oh, you went all the way. Shit. Okay.
Yeah.
I think I got probably like half-ish way. No, I didn't. I wanted to save it. Once I realized that I absolutely loved it, I want to wait to the full release.
That game was the best game because it was like I'd finish the stream or I'd have free time. I'd be like, all right, let's boot up Hell's Torment. And then it'd be like 4 hours of playing it at the PC. And I'd be like, you know what? I want to play this game, but I don't want to be at my desk. Let me shut it down here and get my Steam Deck. And I'm going to go take a bath and play Halls of Torment.
Yep.
While playing the bath.
That's when you know it's special.
It was fucking great.
When it moves to the bath, that's when you know it's something special right there.
It was just the greatest of time, man.
It's good on Steam Deck?
Oh, yeah. It's fantastic. Yeah. It's so good. Hell of a game. So I did all the quests. I want more. I want more of that game. They need to hurry the fuck up.
I think it's a pretty small team, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
Just so I can feel bad about myself, how long did it take you to get all the quests?
Let me boot it up. Or let me look at its Steam.
Beta starts tomorrow?
For what?
For Halls of Torment?
What do you mean beta? Like they're going to put in new content or something?
Like new content?
Hold on. Yeah, it says beta will start on July 31st. Beta details.
What the fuck is beta? It's already in early access.
Well, beta is usually the final stage before release.
So
early access is like, we're still working on the game. Beta's like, okay, now we're going to start, like, the road to 1.0 is here. Like,
it says beta preview, new stage, Frozen Depths, Agony game mode, which is not final yet, balancing changes to characters, traits, items, and abilities, up to two of the 4 new abilities, one of the 2 new characters, many smaller changes and additions, and stability updates and engine upgrades. New achievements and quests. Fucking
Zeke, a good way to think about it is some games are like early access for a long time, but there's some games, for instance, that will never see beta, like Star Citizen and Escape from Tarkov. Like they're never going to see a beta.
But usually it's like, in my experience, it's like alpha, beta, early access, release. Right?
I think
not necessarily early access is a very it's not a serial term like alpha and beta. It's an umbrella term. So early access is newer. Games used to be alpha, not major features were missing was alpha.
Yeah.
Like it is a rough piece of clay. Beta is when all major features were in, but you still have optimization and bug fixing and fine tuning. And then after beta comes usually 1.0 and like the gold disc print at the end of beta. So that's how it used to be. But the whole early access thing came in as a way for people to charge for unfinished games. And then that has since gone into 100 different directions. You have Larian style early access, where they're like actually bringing in the community and stuff. You have unfinished early access, where they just perpetually keep a game in early access to keep charging money. You've got early access that then leads into beta, which is what we're seeing with Halls of Torment. So early access and the whole alpha beta thing does not really, there's not an order to that. And also, unfortunately, a lot of companies these days have completely obscured what beta and alpha mean. So a lot of times alphas will actually be demos. Betas will be public showings. So, you know, it's like, just like the gold disc premise we were talking about with Sven last week, how it doesn't exist anymore. Alpha and beta have become marketing terms, unfortunately, instead of like actual production terms.
Yeah.
No, that's what I've gotten used to. I've gotten used to like beta and closed beta, like are, you know, hovering around the same, you know, definition a little bit, where it's like, we'll release it a little bit. You get to see, you know, this and that and the other thing. Okay, we'll do the major fixes that we need, and then early access. And then early access for however long, because early access can last a fucking long time. Whereas beta usually doesn't, alpha and beta don't usually last for a limited time of like several days to a couple weeks or whatever.
Well,
but early access can last like over a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, DayZ, you know, infinite years. And then you get the full release. Like that's what I've grown accustomed to personally. And that's what those words mean to me.
At this point, almost every company does it differently.
Yeah.
So there's not really an industry standard anymore.
It's interchangeable. Yeah. I think,
which is why, honestly, it's even more important to focus on like the companies themselves instead of those general marketing terms.
For sure.
The focus has been shifted in a lot of ways.
I just wish it was just like, it's in early access. Just leave it. Don't say alpha beta. Just say it's in early access, and everybody realizes like we're releasing it so we can hear your notes and bugs and all that kind of shit and fix it. Early access for however long, and then release 1.0. That's it.
That's what you generally see.
Happen,
you see early access and then the 1.0 patch, which is essentially the release. Like Grounded did a fantastic job with that, where they were just early access, and then they were like, okay, we're good. And then they had like the 1.0 drop, and it was great. And they clearly
Darkest Dungeon, right?
Yeah. Yep. Darkest Dungeon, absolutely. Hades did the same thing. So, you know, it's that's kind of the probably most accepted. What now?
I'm gonna go. I have to see if it's someone outside. I'll be right back. You guys keep talking.
Yeah. You go ahead. I would investigate that as well. That one sounded like it was coming from an upstairs I do not have. So,
Hi.
What the fuck have you been playing?
I've been playing Remnant 2 and EverQuest.
Right. Is that it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
What about you?
I heard my wife yelling. I've been playing lots of shit. I've been playing. I played through Unholy.
Oh, wait.
Which is
other stuff too. Oh yeah, that's the horror game, right?
Yep, the horror game. I looked at it and it looked gorgeous. Like the world that they built was really good, and it seemed like the trailer was great. It still has mixed reviews on Steam, and I was like, what the fuck? And then I played all the way through, and I'm like, this game does not deserve mixed reviews. It's a bit shorter for $30. I mean, I finished it in 11 and a half hours. So like, $30 for 11 and a half hours, not terrible.
That's not
but
bad.
it's
what game is this?
It's Unholy.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
But apparently most of the mixed reviews are, I think they're let's see, the buggy experiences, I think. People are saying the puzzles are terrible, the stealth is unbearably bad, like that kind of stuff, and that's just wasn't my fucking experience with it at all. I enjoyed it thoroughly. It is a kind of not a necessarily unique premise for a game, but it's a cool premise, where the premise is that this lady and her son, dad is I think he is deceased, I think is what we come to understand. Son gets sick, but not like conventional sick. He's just like he's having, like, every time he sleeps he has nightmares like constantly, and she goes to all these doctors and all these places and all this shit, and no one has solutions for her. So she joins this religion that tells her
Next logical step. Absolutely.
We can fix your son. Hey, desperate parent, man. I get that. I mean, I don't get it personally. I'm not a parent, but like it makes sense to me, even though I'm not a
Sure.
dad or anything. But that's the premise of the game, is that, you go to this religious cult to get your son some help. And then you find out that there's just a bunch of weird shit going on. And they are involved in I hesitate to say satanic rites, because there's no like Satan or Jesus or God in any of this. It's not mentioned. So, but it's evil, I would say, like, sacrificial shit. And you find out like this cult is not all it's cracked up to be, so you have to find out like what their purpose is, why your son is having these nightmares and yada yada yada. But like I think the level design is, I enjoyed it. The environment is great. It's really immersive. There are some complaints. Like, first of all, one big complaint, the slingshot, like your weapon that you get, is kind of jank at times. Like, you'll find yourself in a position where you need to fire your slingshot fast, and if you pull it up and you're too close to an enemy, you do the whole like, I'm gonna put it to the side because you're too close. And like, that's when you need it the most, when they're real close to you. Don't put it away, keep it up. Like, that kind of shit gets frustrating. But once you kind of like, judge for that, you give a little leeway to that. Like, okay, don't let enemies get close to you if you want to, hit them with stuff. But you find these religious documents or these cultist like memos to all members and that kind of stuff. You get like the story of what's going on unraveled as you piece it together piece by piece, as you find these little notes lying around. But like, what it has going for it, it is gorgeous. The graphics are great. The sound design is also very good. And the levels vary. Like, the places that you go vary. Like, there's like this subway that you're in that has like all these like creepy like plague vines growing in it. There's like a derelict town. There's like a church. So the environments do change quite a bit. And I like that. It's not terribly long. Obviously, like I said, it's 11 and a half hours, but man, I had a good time. And I like playing games with mixed reviews just to see like if
Why?
I agree, but I like disagreeing with mixed reviews, like,
Yeah.
I don't think, I mean, maybe it's because there are some buggy times. Like, when it loads a new area, you can tell, because for like a space of like 5 seconds, it gets framing. So, you jumped into you go into a new area, it goes, but then it smooths out.
Zeke, is that a new segment for your stream?
What's that?
Mixed reviews, and you just play the most controversial game that week on Steam,
That'd be kind of fun.
no matter what it is, to suss it out.
Dude,
Maybe.
you should have a whole mixed reviews day.
Mixed reviews day.
It'd be a lot of fun. Yeah, man. That'd be
might
actually kind of
fun.
awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to
Also,
write
I
that
lied.
down.
I have not just been playing Remnant 2 and EverQuest. I also played the first episode of the Expanse Telltale Game.
Oh,
and
how is
I
it?
played Punch Club 2 this morning.
Okay. I don't know what Punch Club. That's a movie. Adam Sandler made a sequel. Oh, that's Punch Drunk. Sorry, that's Love. That's Love. Yeah.
You're close though.
That's Love.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Anyway,
Love.
Expanse. Expanse was good. I enjoyed it. It was gory. It has the voice actors from the show.
Okay. Yeah.
Voice acting is it's a little hit and miss. I mean, the main character is the woman from the show, so
Drummer.
that part's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Drummer.
but there's like this one other character who's like this old person, and within the first sentence, I was like, oh yeah, that's a young dude trying to sound old. And then we looked it up later, and it's definitely a young person trying to sound old. So it's a little weird.
Yeah.
But overall, the episode was cool. There were a couple major decisions in it, which was nice. It's not classic Telltale where you get 4 options with everything. There's generally like only a couple, which feels a little different. And it did look a lot better than Telltale Games. So it has that kind of almost action figure-y, cartoony kind of look to it. But then the lighting and stuff is very realistic. So it's an interesting look. It's an interesting look. I definitely will be playing
More of it.
the next one. Yeah. And what's interesting is the episode release schedule is every 2 weeks.
Oh, it's not 3
Yeah.
months or whatever.
It's going to be fully out by the end of September, which is interesting. So like at that point you're just kind of like, why are you even doing episodic?
Yeah, that's
if you already, like, it's kind of weird. It's only $20 though for all the episodes. So I mean, it's, price seems right depending on how long it is.
Fucking epic. That's why.
Code, did you just
Oh,
put your
okay.
arm on your desk? Like
Me?
5 seconds ago?
That?
It's not that, chat. It's not that.
This is me actually hitting my desk.
No. I think it's you. Oh, I just heard that. It is you. It is you doing that.
That's me.
Why is that all of a sudden a thing?
I've never been doing that though. That's me actually like forcefully hitting my desk. I don't really do that.
Maybe I could just increase the gate on your mic. Why is it? Have you changed audio settings in the past week?
Dude, I haven't changed a single thing. I have no idea.
Man,
And I have not been hitting my desk. So I just did it then to test.
I don't know. Anyway, sorry.
In fact, most of the show, my hands have not even been on my desk. So that's even weirder.
I don't know. Someone in my.
But anyway, it was,
anyways,
it
go
was
ahead.
overall.
Where
it was
are
fun.
your hands?
What is this?
Is that fresh bread?
Did you
bread?
make this? You made it? Oh my.
Oh, that's fresh bread out of the bread maker. That's good stuff right there.
Gosh, yeah, Lena just made this.
That's good stuff right there. You need some butter on
Good
that.
job, baby. All right.
Is that a sourdough? A pumpernickel?
is.
What do we? Oh, it's a
Oh,
sourdough.
I think so. It's God, it's good.
It's got a little
man.
sea salt on the edge. You know there.
Oh man, it's good. Anyway,
I should get a bread
but yeah,
maker.
it was a lot of fun, and I definitely going to be playing more of it. For sure.
Okay.
Very expansive for sure.
Yeah.
Like a lot of references, a lot of like little flavor things to see and do.
I
Now,
might
just
jump
real
into
quick,
that.
is this before the series, the television series?
I don't know.
I think it's a prequel.
there
yes.
are references.
Okay.
So there's references to other events and things in the show, but I think it's a little before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
chat's
I
saying
think
prequel.
it's a prequel.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If anybody from my viewers is wondering if I would play it, yes, I will, but I'm going to wait.
I'm gonna wait till it's all out. September. Cool.
all out.
Yeah. It's on my list as well. I still haven't finished only because I don't want it to end. I haven't seen the final like 3 episodes of the show.
I haven't watched the last season.
Yeah. I watched
Yeah.
everything up until they split the second or the final season in 2, and I watched the first part, but I haven't seen the second part. So yeah. It's a good show.
Mhm.
I'm glad to hear that.
I loved the first arc. The first arc was like one of those ones that you like just have to watch the next episode for the whole time. I love that about it.
Yeah, big fan.
It's really good.
I did Puzzler Day, which means I played a bunch of games. I finally played. I played that Mars First Logistics.
Yeah.
It's not a puzzle game.
Oh
It's not a puzzle game. I did. It was. I mean,
no, I wouldn't say that either.
Yeah,
No, you're
I-
right.
I-
I
it
would
was-
say that's not a. Oh my god, your fucking outfit,
yeah, it's the puzzle.
man. That means I need to get a brute force outfit
Oh wow.
to be your evil counterpart.
Yeah, you do. That's the puzzler up there.
I see you're playing Mars First Logistics, Puzzler. Well, I have a little surprise for you.
Exactly. It took about 20 minutes till I inadvertently made my own, let's say, extracurricular activity machine.
It was a penis mobile.
It was a penis mobile. And I made it by complete accident. And I just did you could make the
CJP, it's
parts-
interesting because a lot of times when we do things subconsciously, we think it's an accident, but it's actually just
I was trying to make a thing where you could squeeze it on the side and then you get
Oh, were
something on
you?
the bottom to lift
so like
it
a
up.
little this, a little here.
But all I
like
did
both
was make a
sides
thing
and-
that squeezed on the sides and then a thing that went like this.
Oh, okay. Okay. Great.
I didn't even use it. I just made it, realized what I made, laughed, and then went on to another game. Is what happened there. So, yeah, you know,
There we go.
it is a thing. This game is good though, but there is a lot of driving. There's maybe too much driving.
But the thing is, later in the game, the driving becomes the hard part. So not only do you have to make a vehicle to haul the item, but then you have to properly. The terrain starts getting like super hilly,
Yes,
or to get like a bunch of rocks in it and stuff like that. So like the first step is making a vehicle that can pick up the object. The second step is making a vehicle that can pick up the object and move it over the terrain.
Yeah.
Have you gotten the rocket attachment yet? The rocket.
No,
booster?
I didn't get that far. I did not get that far.
Once you get that, the game really opens up. Like it really becomes even sort of fun to traverse long distances, because I'm not a physicist or even that smart. But like it was fun to like put a rocket on something and go like tumble over like ass over tea kettle to like your next destination.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun.
I utilized the hook a lot. The hook still plays. Key Remastered taught me a lot. Hook is very valuable.
Yep.
This is that game. This is one of those games where it's like, this thing is going to be my go-to for everything. Like, I'm going to drop rocks onto a seesaw for as long as I can. Like, for as many solutions as I can, I'm going to use the what was my go-to vehicle? I think my go-to vehicle was the
Buggy?
The clamper. There was I made it. Yeah.
Yeah. I just did the hook.
I don't know if it was like this or like this, but that was my go-to for like most of the game.
Yeah.
Mine was a box that had like a contraption in the middle that would like reach down and pick up or hook whatever I needed it to. And I just drive the big box around because it was super stable.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Did you get to the tanker? The tank, the big tank?
No,
I don't
no, I
remember.
did not. I did not get there.
Okay. That was my like, I'm gonna have to stop and come back. I have to turn this off and come back because this is the most frustrating thing. And after that, everything was a little difficult, but not nearly as frustrating as that the first time you're hauling that fucking tanker. Holy shit, it's awful. And then
I don't think I did
this
that then.
game is one of those games that after you do the hard thing, they're like, here's your vehicle to make it easy for you. You're like, you motherfuckers.
Here's the perfect configuration that would have completely invalidated this entire puzzle.
So
You had only thought of it.
I have to ask, did the two of you enjoy the driving aspect of the game, or did you enjoy the puzzling aspects of it more? Like making the thing?
Building was by far the cool part. Sometimes the driving was cool, but
Okay.
it was more frustrating at times.
Frustratingly
Like the building
fun,
part, the building
or
part
just
was the fun
frustrating?
part. No, frustrating, like frustrating.
Okay.
Like, you know, like you'd hit like a little tiny rock and your whole thing
'Cause
would
that-
like slowly.
I'm
yeah, like,
asking the questions because I wanted to say you should play SnowRunner if you enjoyed the driving, because it's just SnowRunner ultimately. When you get out and like drive.
Honestly, in this game, it went building is the fun part, driving is frustrating, and then it went totally like by the end I was like, I love driving places. I don't want to build anything anymore because I have the building the vehicles that I like, that I think I can do everything. But you know, rocketing across like and if you get like that perfect weight balance and build and rocket and stuff like that, and you go and you fly in a straight line and you're level and you're going straight to your target, such a good feeling. So sad. It's like I fucking knew it, man. Put that right there. And
Maybe the 100-month sub game is SnowRunner, because you just described SnowRunner and having fun, but I don't know. It's
Oh, SnowRunner's the ice road trucker game.
It's a little deceiving because SnowRunner has snow in it, but you don't actually fucking see snow until like 20 hours in that game. It's really just like Mud Runner is what the first 20 hours of that game is, and it's very hard.
See, I was considering it, but I don't play games that lie to me, so I don't know.
It's a little bit of a lie. Yeah, it's a little bit of a lie.
Dude, if like looking at it, I'm getting serious Death Stranding driving vibes, and I am not about that.
Ooh, That's even.
It's
more.
been a while since I've done
and-
Death. It's been a while since I've done Death Strand. Is it chat? Is it like? I don't know
I
if it
hated
is.
it. I hated it so much. That's the thing I remember about the game, and I beat it. I remember still the hatred I had for like, here's some cool vehicles, but here's rocks that will stop your vehicle dead in its tracks everywhere.
Here's the trick, the skill, as it were, in SnowRunner comes with the you get an automatic tow line, and so you can just like zip it out to a rock, and then like tow your reel your vehicle
it'll
in.
winch you out.
Yeah, it'll the winch,
Okay.
automatic winch. That's what I'm trying to say. And that
Okay.
Did you guys just hear that?
no, there was no.
Okay, then it's not my kids. Okay, that's the loudest my kids have been all day. I was wondering if it was my kids. So
Oh.
sometimes they run above my head. And
Okay.
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No,
Just
no,
had to
no, no,
check.
no. Look, I've been tracking it down for 2 hours. I'm with you. We're gonna figure it out.
Okay.
It's playing.
We're good. We're good.
But yeah, SnowRunner is the other crazy aspect with SnowRunner, Zeke, is there's 200 hours probably of content in that game, which is
200?
probably on a low side. Yeah, and they're still updating it. I think it's in year 3.
Now, does content involve just driving between two places? Is that the content?
Yes and no.
That's the content for this game.
Yeah, I mean yeah.
The build thing is kind of interesting. And granted, maybe you do
Sure,
like
sure.
a quip / spec out thing in SnowRunner. I know there's people that like literally are SnowRunner streamers.
Yeah.
So
it's
yeah,
a fascinating.
I mean, it's definitely
Really?
a thing. It's
Wow.
definitely absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely
It's
a
a
thing.
fascinating
Mhm.
game. Also, Zeke, if
Well,
you do
okay.
play it, I have to demand that you get a
Yeah.
wheel and you get the Logitech G9 wheel.
He
or
needs a
whatever.
trucker hat.
Oh, the
You have a trucker hat?
peripheral? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You
Okay.
can get a trucker hat too. Yeah.
Dude, they give you like 3 of them at birth in Montana. Like,
Oh, that's true. That's
Put
true.
a trucker hat on.
y'all,
that
y'all
baby.
like come out with a trucker hat on, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, but is that a boy or a girl? Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, it's a blue hat. Great. Okay. Good deal.
Yeah.
No, getting back to on your 100-month game, if you ask my personal preference,
Yeah.
I want to play a game that the person who is requesting it wants to watch me.
So, I mean, that might be
Most
SnowRunner.
of anything, wants to see me play it because I
You-
love. That's why I haven't done like all of them, because I want the person to be there
Yeah.
and schedule.
You have officially convinced me. I'm changing my game to Baldur's Gate 3.
Did you just? Okay. Did you hear that, Zeke? 3, 4. What is that?
That's me hitting my table right there.
That's it.
I'm doing it
Whatever.
on purpose.
Okay, it's 100% you. Because it's like a
100% me.
fucking bass drum.
So do this for the rest of the time.
It's so loud. Like I don't. You don't hear that in
Really
your
loud.
headphones?
I don't hear that at all. You hear
Oh my god! It's so
guys hear it?
loud.
it? Really?
Now I can't hear it.
Oh, I stopped. Now I wonder if it's because my new I switched from a remember that new mic stand I showed you?
Did you finally put it in?
It's rigid.
What do you mean by
So
that?
it's my other one had a one of
give?
those little suspension
Shock
cages
mount.
things
Oh,
for the mic
it doesn't
shock
have a
mount. This
shock
one
mount.
doesn't.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
when I'm doing
why.
this, I'm lightly tapping my desk.
Dude,
But I think
it
it's
is.
just traveling through the desk. It's really
without
loud.
a
You guys
shock
hear that?
mount. I
Here,
had that
let
same
me.
problem.
I'm gonna Zeke. Don't talk.
That's weird. That's super weird. So yeah, I'm like,
What's that, JP? What'd you say?
Don't talk, Zeke. I'm gonna let Co hear what it sounds
Yeah,
like
let me
on
do
my system here. I just have to figure out the output routing. Okay, Co.
can I hear me? Should be able to hear me, right?
Yes. You
There we
hear
go, okay.
yourself?
I don't hear it.
It came across there.
I don't hear it. That's weird.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. That might just be.
Maybe it's because it's kind of low.
It might just be me. Might just be me.
Oh no, I hear it very clear.
I'm not doing it.
Well, now you're not.
No, when it does
This is the stupidest fucking thing.
Okay.
This is
The
like-
point is, Cat heard it. I'm not doing it consciously, so I will do my best to stop doing it.
Our show has become more.
You just
more,
did it. Stop.
Our show has become more and more like MTV. Like we're phasing out games. We're not gonna talk about games no more. We're just gonna talk about random shit and hope people don't fucking notice.
It's fine.
And we're gonna hit our desk while we do it.
It's fine. No, that was just loud. Yeah, I heard that everywhere.
Okay.
What else did I play as public? I don't hear it at all. Baba Is You. If you haven't played Baba Is You, you gotta play Baba Is You. What a fucking just stellar
fucking
game.
awesome. How did you love it? Tell me you loved it.
I really enjoyed it, but this game's you get into a thing of just like Baba Is You. You is rock.
They don't give you a lot of words or a lot of like things to do, and you're just like, I feel like Bobby Fischer. It's like, don't move till you see it.
Yeah,
don't move till you see it, and you're just like, I can't see it. I've done Baba Is You. You is rock. Tree is you. Key is fuck.
Game is hard.
I don't even know what, like, you guys are speaking a weird different language. I know the words you're saying, but
did you never play Baba Is You?
Never
you should check this game out at some point. It's old, I guess, at this point. I don't know when it came out.
It's a few years old, yeah.
But it's fantastic. Really is.
It's absolutely fantastic. And the premise of the game, is that you solve puzzles by making sentences. And how that works is they are separated into
it's like logic.
Just one word. Like noun, verb, that kind of stuff. So if star is crab. So if there's stars on the field or on the game board, all the stars will become crabs. So if you say Baba is you is tree, all the trees on the screen, you are them, and you move as like a big grove of trees.
It changes the game's logic in real time, and so that's the puzzle. And it gets
that's kind of wild.
It gets fucking bonkers. And it gets so bonkers that like you're sitting there. If you've ever taken philosophy in like college, it's basically like logic puzzles, and you're creating them on the fly, but also trying to undo them at the same time, like undo certain logic that already exists and manipulate it to your own advantage. It's really, it's a bizarre game.
Now look at the screen right now. You see the thing that is it's vertical. Oh shit. Okay.
No, I just passed.
No, it's cool. It sounds interesting.
Yeah, you should check it out.
I have to check it out.
It's good. I played that, and then I finished it up with Viewfinder, which, as you both said, it's a very good game.
Yep.
Very good game. How long is Viewfinder?
Zeke time. This is me doing all of the every single puzzle, every single collectible, 9.5 hours.
Okay. Code, did you finish it? Everything? Nope. Oh, you didn't. Okay. How far?
Played for a cozy stream.
What was your playtime in it? And do you know how far you got?
I don't know how far. I think I was finishing up the second area, if that makes sense. And I played it for 70 minutes.
Okay. I played it for 67 minutes, and they said I was like 60% of the way through the game. And I said, that doesn't make sense, because I'm not smart at this stuff. And I feel like I haven't been playing this game very long at all. And so I was just making sure that the game is actually a lot longer than that.
To be fair, like, it's not, I didn't find the time that I spent, there was like maybe one or two things in it that kind of made me have pause.
Think about it.
But
yeah.
Every time it was just kind of like, oh, well, let's see how do I do this.
Okay.
Oh, let me try this. Okay, that worked. Like, it's not, I don't feel like it's a game that's really designed to like tax you mentally too much. It's just kind of, little fun puzzles. It does apparently get more and more difficult as you get towards the end. When you get like the camera and you start being in the pictures and there's timers and printers and stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. So it gets a little crazy, but I think the main story arc is designed to be just kind of, introduce mechanic, lightly use mechanic, next mechanic, introduce mechanic, lightly use mechanic, that kind of thing.
Got it. Okay.
I will say the final level is kind of a shift from what you're used to, and it's awesome. And I don't know if anybody knows the devs or the devs are watching this show, but I would say to you, devs, if you made a whole bunch of those like the last level, that would be fucking awesome. Because it's a change of pace. Because don't take out any of the stuff you already have, because all that shit's great. But the feeling of the last, the last level is awesome. I had a blast doing it, and I just wish there was more of those.
Okay. Yeah, I might go back and play some more of that off stream. I might play all 3 of those off stream, to be honest. They're good time wasters, just things, fun games to spend time in. Let's go with that. Time waster sounds derogative.
I know, yeah. I say that a lot. I say that about the Halls of Torment, Vampire Survivors. Like, they're good time wasters, but I don't feel like I'm wasting time because I'm having a good time.
You're having fun.
But it's also not like, I think you use the term time waster when the game isn't super involved.
Sure.
You don't got to be like,
you can pick it up
ultimately
and put it down
paying attention
any
all the
issues.
time. Yeah,
that's right.
Exactly.
That's what I use it for as well.
Like what was that? Loop Hero was one that I'd be like, oh, that's a great time waster, but fuck, it's awesome. I loved it.
Yeah.
But it's also not too taxing.
Makes sense. And then off stream, I played 35 hours of Octopath Traveler 2. But don't ask me anything about the story of that game, because I don't know. I skipped every single one. I have no idea what is going on story-wise.
Wait a minute. You're allowed as a gamer to skip story in an RPG?
I finished 4 full character storylines. I don't have a fucking clue what happened. I know who I fought. I know where I was. I know how I defeated them. But man, don't know why I was there or what led me to want to kill those guys. But I had a lot of fun.
You turned an
killing those
RPG
guys.
into a time waster.
It was great. I had a fucking blast, man. I had 35 hours of just absolutely loving the combat of that game. The story was fine from what I think I saw.
I was going to say, how do you know? It could have been terrible.
There was one and it was
people
like,
said it was good.
Yeah, there was one and I was, it was like killing mother and father or something. I don't know. That was a thing. There's some assassin. It felt like it was like a Scarlett, or not Scarlett Johansson. She was the actress. A Black Widow, like Red Room type deal, I think.
Okay.
There was one about like a merchant, and it was about like capitalism.
Sounds like there's
I think.
more to this, more thread to pull.
Yeah, I
on
think
that
there was
one.
like a capitalism one, and there was like the sorcerer. I made my own story. I think ultimately.
Okay.
Like holy shit! I love the
Octopath Traveler.
Octopath Traveler 2 is
talking
what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Octopath Traveler 2.
Octopath Traveler 2. Yes. Yeah. Still not done.
Oh,
with that,
you
but-
mentioned this, but you haven't talked about it yet. And I had a blast with the first one, but I played the demo of the second one, and I didn't have the same grab. Punch Club 2.
Yeah.
And I want to hear your thoughts about Punch Club 2.
I played Punch Club 2 all morning today. I played it for like almost 4 hours, and I had a great time with it. It is very much a time management game with some light other elements, some light money making stuff. You get to like pick different fighting styles, train your character up and stuff. I've been having a great time with it so far. It's one of those games where it doesn't feel like you can really lose, so you're just kind of constantly moving forward, which is nice. There's tons of references all over the place. There's been some very funny dialogue. It has been pretty dang entertaining so far. I'm definitely looking forward to returning to it tomorrow morning. Absolutely. Yeah. Like right there. Look what's on the ground. I don't know if you saw that back there. That's literally one of the circuses of value from BioShock. There's even hypos sitting in front of it.
Oh, wow.
Just chilling in the middle. And there's just stuff like that everywhere.
They did a lot of that in the first game.
I got actually beat up by a flat earther today after he went on a tirade about how he watched YouTube videos that prove the earth is flat. And literally he's a man.
Punch him into the atmosphere to fucking prove him wrong.
Covered in tinfoil armor that gives him palpable bonuses in combat. Like it's just all sorts of just random, crazy, weird stuff. Half-Life logo on the back there. Like it's just like every scene I feel like has at least one reference, if not more, in it. And the whole game's just a giant. It's just a giant
Half-Life.
And it's been a lot of fun so far.
All right.
So how does Adam
Mhm.
Sandler end up in the sewer after like a rom-com with where do we get there?
Punch
We're going back
Drunk
to the
Love,
Punch Drunk
Punch
Love
Club.
thing, huh?
Yep.
Yep. Yep.
By the way, if you've never watched Punch Drunk Love, watch it. It's a fantastic movie, and Adam Sandler is,
I've heard very
I
good
dare
things,
say,
yeah.
excellent in it, which is not something I would say about Adam Sandler. He's fun, he's funny, but I don't think I've ever thought I would say he's excellent in something, but he is fucking excellent in Punch Drunk Love.
So this
Check
right
it out.
here is how the fighting happens. You have like all those blue things on the left you see are like different things you can slot from different fighting styles, and then the actual combat is all auto battle. So you basically like set your guys up, and then you do a round, and then when the round is done, you can like change things around if you want to. If you need to like maybe take out an attack to get more more endurance back per round, or if you're getting a lot of endurance but your health is going down, you can slot more blocks in. You can take off your special, things like that. So it's a cool system. It's pretty unique and it's a fun, cool system.
What does that say on the wall? Einstein himself.
Didn't chill himself, which is like a reference and a reference. It's just again.
You know what that's referencing, Zeke?
Yeah.
No.
Anyways, now
Yeah.
Chat,
even reference
obviously.
I know what it is, but
at one point today, it said straight up, "This is almost as old as the Pam and Tommy video."
It's a reference to Epstein. Okay, I get it. All right.
yeah,
All right.
yeah. What did you say, Coach?
That's all we need to say.
I said the game straight up at one point made a reference where it said, "Yeah, at least it's not as old as the Pam and Tommy video." And a lot of people
Holy
immediately are
shit.
like, "Oh my god!" And then the rest of chat is like, "Well, hey, what are you talking about?" And I was just like, "Oh no."
Is that the Netflix show? What does that mean?
Yeah, there's tons and tons of just weird,
That's a
strange,
reference.
like,
Yeah. Wow.
oh yeah, tons. They're all over the place. So it's been pretty wild so far, and I'm definitely. And it's also kind of like a cyberpunky thing. Like it takes place in the future.
Oh,
which is kinda
weird.
crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's cool. So I'm having fun. Yeah. Please
Cool.
explain the Pam and Tommy video. Do not Google Pam and Tommy video for the record, especially if you're at work. It's just an old reference. Just let it go. Let it go. Yeah.
Every time I hear Pam and Tommy, I think about that Eminem song because he references that. And I just remembered I felt really old the other day because Eminem is in the fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now.
Yeah.
He is that old.
He's probably in his 40s or 50s.
I'm sure. I'm sure
Rock and
we're,
Roll Hall of Fame.
we're of a similar age.
Really?
Is there a rap Hall of Fame?
He's in his 50s.
I guess, yeah.
50. Yeah, he's 50 years old. He was born in
Yeah.
72.
Oh, he's
That's absolutely
exactly
right. Pearl
50.
Jam is classic rock now. That's right. Absolutely right. Classic rock is like a lot of the bands we grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
that's
wild.
True. That's true.
Yep. There you go.
Motherfucking Dr. Dre is almost 60. Oh my God.
Snoop Dogg, I think, is almost 60.
He's 51.
Snoop Dogg is 50? Or Eminem?
Snoop is 51.
Snoop is 51?
Eminem's 50.
There you
And
go.
Dr. Dre's 58. Yep.
I hate you all.
Good to know.
I know.
We're all old.
We're all way too old.
I remember when Macaulay Culkin tweeted, it's like, hey, you want to feel old? I'm 40.
Jesus.
I remember
Christ.
that. I was like, oh, good.
Yeah.
Gut punch.
Good
Oh
lord.
God.
You guys play anything else? God, I'm still digesting all the information I just unfortunately
played-
delivered with.
I played I did Indie Day, and I played a couple of Indie Days.
Yeah.
But there's a couple of games that I would love to chat about. One of them is called the full title is all in caps. Yeah, you want those games in quotes, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them. That's the full title of the game.
Where the hell is this in the VOD?
It's
Okay.
the last Indie Day before this one.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm
Yeah.
scanning around. I'll find it.
You'll find it, and I want you to find it, and I want you to get the joke if you can. I'll read the title one more time. Yeah, you want those games, right? So here you go. Now let's see you clear them. And I didn't play it for very long on stream. I did end up playing it like off stream because it's a time waster.
Mhm.
And you'll understand what I mean if you can find it. Yep, this is it. This is a game with nothing but mini games from the mobile ads that you see. It has pull the pin.
Oh,
It has
no.
unpark the car or unpark the lot or whatever. It has stack the money and, climb over shit. Like, it has those games. Yep. So it is appropriately titled.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. So I played a little bit of that, and it was actually, I mean, for what it was, it's actually pretty fun. And I mean, I would $9.99 still a bit high for it. I mean, I would
Each
I would
one of
say
those
it's
is a different game.
No, they're not different games. No, the levels of the game.
Oh,
I think
okay.
There's 6 different games: Color Lab, Pin Pull, Number Tower, Parking Lot, Cash Run. Those are 5, I guess. But all of them have like multiple levels and stuff. So I played a little bit of it on stream, and then I played a little bit of it like just while I was, after dinner. We were watching an episode of whatever, and I was just like click, clickety, click, click, clickety, and it was just fucking time waster. And I did enjoy like the pin pull was my least favorite. I didn't finish that one.
Really?
I
This
didn't
is
do a
the
level
one
on
that always, whenever I see the mobile
I
ads, I'm
know.
like, well, maybe I should grab. Nah, I'm not gonna get that. I'm not getting suckered. But it's
Yeah.
it's not good. Also, why is
You
that
look at it,
why
you're
is
like,
that guy
that
kicking the
does look
dogs?
fun.
Why does he kick the dogs?
He's the bad guy. He's the bad guy.
Does the Rock
And
kill
also
him?
the dogs are obstacles. You have to get rid of them.
I don't know if I like this game.
Anyways. Yeah, you know what? I don't like it anymore. Let's see. If you go back to the indie day that you were just on
Okay.
before this, the most recent one, the first game I played. I played on that. That's where I first played Unholy, I think, and then I picked up Access Denied, which is the cube puzzle game,
Okay.
which by all accounts from other people, it's super short. It's like not a very long game, but god damn if I didn't love the puzzle layout of this. It's doesn't give you any like tutorial. It just gives you a puzzle box in front of you, and you can rotate it and look at the top. You can the bottom is never something you can look at, so never worry about that. But you can rotate it and look at the top, and by what's on the box, you have to figure out how to solve the box, open the box and get the prize out of the top of the box. And I love that. I love the way it was laid out. They don't tell you jack shit about how to solve any of it. So you get stuff like this, like, okay, so a gold hexagon with a diamond is 2. And then you're like, okay, then that, and then you like make these connections. It's really satisfying to figure out these puzzles. And I know like the puzzler, I think the puzzler would really enjoy this.
Someone in my chat just said the puzzler would probably enjoy this. I think I set the puzzler up with a bad set of games, to be honest. I was expecting Mars First Logistics to be more puzzling for the puzzler.
I'll tell you what. I'll talk.
I love how you keep referring to
my
it like
friend.
this other person.
Well, I'm not the
will
puzzler. The puzzler is
No.
the puzzler is he only shows up when there's a lot of money.
Oh,
I will talk to my
absolutely.
friend. We met in college. Well, I'll talk to Brute Force.
Yeah,
And he knows all the
puzzling games.
the nastiest, puzzliest games that'll break your brain and you'll never come back from it. Excuse me. That's sorry. Nah, I am not him. by the way.
All right.
Of course not.
But yeah, if you want honestly, if you want some puzzle games, I could give you a fucking list of,
Yeah.
of fun, good ones.
He might show up.
Don't trust your chat though.
Okay.
The next game I played was Super Catboy. Now, don't
Write it off.
judge a book by its title, okay? Oh, we can say on this one.
Judge a furry by its ears.
Doomsday Hunters. Let's talk about that first.
This is Doomsday Hunters. Doomsday Hunters is a twin stick roguelite, a la Gungeon, a little bit of Welcome to the Gungeon.
Okay.
But this is one of those games that does one of the things that I kind of dislike in games that some people like are okay with, is that they throw a bunch of like shit at you all at once. It's like, here's all of the things you can use. Here's like 30 different guns. Like, they don't throw it, like pile it on top of you, but it's just like new gun, found a 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 new gun, sub weapon. You know, like they just boom, 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 just throw them all at you in rapid succession. So it feels like you're just getting used to one gun, and you're like, I guess I better try out this gun to see if it's better. So like it feels like you need to play it for a lot longer than I did to really like go, okay, I know what I like and I can forget or scrap basically. But all the elements of a good roguelike, a fun twin stick are all there. It's level based. It's not, I don't know if I might have been kind of disappointed in how like I faced the bosses and I beat the level bosses like pretty much the first try. So like I think I kind of wanted them to be a little more difficult, a little more like involve a little bit more strategy. But once you have like a gun that you really like, you're pretty good to go. And that's kind of how it felt. Like I went, it's laid out like Isaac, like if you find the boss, you can just go fight him. You don't have to explore anything else. And then you can, go on to the next level. And the first couple of levels, I was like, okay, that's the boss door. I'm going to, clear this floor and then come back and fight the boss. And then by the time I got to like the third or fourth like level, I was like, I'm just going to go to the boss, kill the boss, next level. And that's kind of how it felt. So I was like, maybe it could use a little bit more difficulty or a difficulty slider or something. I know is that taboo? Can I say difficulty slider? Is that cool?
No, why wouldn't you be able to say that?
No, I mean, it's it's one of those things that like perks people up when it's in relation to Dark Souls, right?
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, it's fun. It's you can play a demo for free, which is always good. If you want to check it out, downloadable demo on Steam, and it's $16, so it's priced right. So yeah.
Not bad. Let me get the dog game or whatever it was called.
Super Cat Boy.
Super Cat Boy. There you go. That's a dog game.
And there's my dog though.
That's a dog game.
You're my boy.
Yeah.
Oh, he got into some fucking mud, and I was like, I almost had a heart attack because the mud that he got on his nose and mouth looked like chocolate. So I was like, what the fuck?
Oh God.
Oh, thank Christ.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. It was just real wet mud he was digging.
That's
okay. So this
scary.
is Super Cat Boy. Now, Super Cat Boy is a love letter to older SNES platformers, and it is really good.
It's got
it
a
is,
drop kick.
I did not expect it to be as fun as it was, but it's actually really fun. It doesn't the levels don't overstay their welcome, meaning it's not long just for the sake of adding, more levels. It feels like it's, proportionately well proportioned as far as, how long it takes you to beat a level and move on to the next level and stuff like that. There are, for those of you who are completionists or something like that, there are percentages at the end of every level. For the first like 2 or 3 levels, I was like, oh shit, I got 100% of the coins, 100% of the lucky cat gold pieces, which are just like the collectibles, and I killed 100% of the enemies. I was like, oh sweet. So like there's that like validation at the end of a level, which, I like.
Yeah.
But also, it's charming, and it's also got, a little bit of a self-awareness that I think a game like this probably needs. There's definitely some cat puns being made. There is there's some like character tropes that you come across. It's not story heavy, so like if you're worried about that, it's not. It's just a few lines of dialogue here and there, but it's fun and funny, the dialogue that comes out. But for the most part, it's just a really solid retro platformer, and I really enjoyed it.
Where'd the cat get the gun?
It is that's
Asking
one of
the real
characters.
questions.
One of the characters, the first character you meet, I can't remember her name, but she's a human lady, and
of course it would be. She from America? Is that?
I'm guessing. I don't know. I really don't know. I gave her an accent like a little bit like that, so she talked like that a little bit.
Okay.
But I don't know where she's from.
Okay. All right.
But it has like a lot of nods to other great games. Like it has Mega Man nods. It has Donkey Kong Country nods. It has like, a couple of cool, like, I wouldn't call them Easter eggs, but they're definitely like, hey, I know that's an homage to, that kind of shit. It's let's see, developed by Pixel Pogo, published by Assemble Entertainment, and it is $8 on sale right now. $10 normally. It's on sale for $8. So,
not bad.
it was really fun. If you like retro platformers, it's a great game.
Lunacy St. Rhodes, final game, I think.
Yes, Lunacy St. Rhodes. I played it's like 2 hours of it. Also a mixed review. This one was another one of the ones that had a mixed review, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play it, and I liked it. I really liked it. I can understand, I guess, why people would give it mixed reviews. The pacing, some of the puzzle elements, are not up to the puzzler standards, we'll say. But they're all right. They're not too bad. The sound design is really, really good. They don't rely on, which I thought they were going to rely more heavily on, is jump scares. They don't rely a lot on jump scares insofar as they rely more on, I've come to call it quantum stuff, which means look here, turn back, look back, something different. Like the environment changes on you, So like you're looking down a hallway, turn, look back, door. You're like, oh shit. Like it does a lot of that stuff, but also with scary elements like ghosts and like spooky children and stuff like that. So I liked it. It's I was thinking about continuing it if I didn't have something to do next week, which I do, but it's also not priced terribly. It's $16 on Steam right now, so
not too bad.
I enjoyed it. It's also like if you do check it out, I would definitely say like you'll see later on if you watch the VOD later on, you'll see like I completely say fuck the flashlight because I fucking hate it. I hate a realistic flashlight in a game. Give me an arcadey flashlight, something that actually lights up shit, rather than an actual, like, look at it. It looks like a real fucking flashlight. Up the gamma. Just turn up the gamma and thank me later, because that made the game so much better.
Yeah.
Unbelievably better. Yeah.
Gotta up the gamma. The gamma up.
Yep.
Cool. That's Lunacy St. Rhodes.
Now hold on. I gotta ask you guys a question. If you guys were you two, if you guys were watching chat right now, and I was talking most of the time, did your chat go, oh, poor JP, poor Co? They're not saying anything.
Now,
oh, this is JP right now. Resident Sleeper.
Do you want my honest answer, or would you like me to give the funny answer?
Start with funny.
I actually fell asleep. I have glasses that show my eyes as open. Yeah, you just
hit the fucking mic thing again. God, stop it. The noise.
I'm sorry.
Stop it.
I'm still asleep.
No, here's the real answer, Zeke. You don't get the funny answer because I'm not funny.
Okay.
The real answer is we actually act interested when you talk and don't tune out on purpose.
I don't tune out. That's it, honestly like.
I would like to state for the court stenographer that JP is speaking for himself in this case.
I'm honestly not tuned out. That is,
Co plays games when he talks, so he kind of tunes out. But yeah, I'm
Ding 35.
I have resting board face. I'm
There you
sorry,
go.
but I am paying attention.
You might
And
have
I'm
resting
more
board
so
face. That might be true. That might
if
be
I
true.
don't have anything like to input on the game, because usually when that happens, it's an established game. It's something that we've talked about, and the stuff that I talk about is new shit you've never heard of.
Right.
So
And
I pay attention more so when you're doing that to chat, and I type a lot in all three of because I have all three chat boxes pulled up.
That might be the problem.
So,
my serious answer is, you have a mode that you go into for Indie Day.
That is
where
true.
it's just like you basically have like generally anywhere between 3 and 7 games, and I think mentally you know exactly what you want to say about them. You beginning to end it, and when you finish one game, you move on to the next. So when I detect that coming on, I don't get uninterested. I just get relaxed because I'm like, I know this is Zeke's segment. I know that I can just lay back and listen. I'm not going to have anything to add to it because he generally covers everything I want to know about the games anyway. So it's just like I just kind of like chill.
Well,
I usually talk a lot during the show anyway, so.
That's what I wanted to get across. It's like, I'm not bored. I'm in a show with friends where nerds are talking about nerd stuff. That's great to me. Even if I don't play or like the game or whatever, I love hearing nerds talk about nerd stuff. That's why I like this show. And I have resting board face.
I think it's the resting
because
board.
I get
most of the
all
games
time.
that you play for Indie Day, I will probably never play. So I'm absolutely interested in hearing tidbits about them. Like, because I generally know I'm never going to play them because we normally kind of get all that stuff out of the way before we do Indie Day, most times.
Yeah.
So,
and this is not a new thing for me. This has been all my life. My mom and dad would constantly, as I was growing up, would constantly ask me what's wrong. Like nothing. Like you look upset. Like I'm not upset. I swear to God, I'm not upset. They're like, why?
yeah,
are
but
why
when you
is your
say
face like
that, when you say that, you sound more upset.
This? My face is this. This is my face. What is wrong with my face?
Oh man, that's good. That's good. No, to answer your question, that it was not in the chat, Zeke. That was sarcastic,
I didn't really see
but
people.
it was not in there.
Yeah.
I think I think here's the
it's
thing.
Definitely me.
I think because you joked about it when referencing Path of Exile, that chat knows that that's a joke that you have said, and so they reference the joke of you quote unquote tuning out. So it's like a meme type deal, really, about the show.
And I see the good natured ribbing of varying degrees from all your chats, and I do try to answer it with a little ribbing of my own. So if I pooped on you a little bit, don't take it too personally.
Yeah,
and I mean it's good that we have a part of the show that people know that they can take an AFK, use a bathroom, get a drink, like it's important.
It's true.
Yeah.
What the?
I just wish I love it when we've all played a game. Like the same game.
It's rare.
Like that Mars thing.
Also,
When we were talking about Mars First Logistics, I was like, yay, we've all played that. Let's go.
Those are the most fun games to talk about for sure.
What am I looking at here? How is this a Twitch website?
Browsing Wait. You're browsing Vaudeville?
Yeah, because Zeke played Vaudeville, and this has been kind of a big deal on it's kind of a memeable game on Twitch. But like, how am I on this website?
Detective game, yeah.
Like, what is this?
No. The reason I said that was normally it would show a directory.
Yeah,
that's show like 2 panes like that.
I don't know what I'm looking at.
It says in the top. That's weird.
The
fact that it's not even suggesting something else to look at.
I've broken your website. I can't even hit
surprised
back.
It doesn't show that. I'm surprised it doesn't show that screenshot you linked it before the show. I know you're looking for Vaudeville, but
how about this? Yeah. Zeke, you did play Vaudeville. Did you enjoy Vaudeville? Like it is a rather interesting game here in the last.
Yeah, no.
Vaudeville means like something. That's like a style of theater,
it's
right?
an era of theater. Yeah.
Vaudeville came around in the early turn of the century, late 1800s, early 1900s. It was like a stage theater production that wasn't actually like a play. It was like jugglers and joke tellers and shit like that. I don't know why this is called Vaudeville. It has nothing to do with any of that.
Maybe it's a town.
I think
called
there's
Vaudeville.
one character in it that does a vaudevillian act.
Yeah, look at the top left. Vaudeville's
Vaud Valley.
County, and then Vaud Valley Country Club. So is Vaudeville just the name of the town? Like
Could be.
Sandville, like Vaudeville? Yeah, okay. That's a very weird name for a town.
Now I get it. This game is like, you remember when text to speech was all the rage and everybody was like, "Oh, this is fucking hilarious! I can make a helicopter like that." This is that game. Is like, oh fuck, it was hilarious for a couple hours, but I don't think I'm.
It is AI driven though, right? Like it's not.
Yes, it is.
The gimmick is that you're talking to an AI who has a direct. You're trying to solve a murder mystery, right? And they give you clues and stuff through your questions. But most of the time, it devolves into the streamer trying to somehow break the AI in most streams that I've seen of this.
Yeah, break the AI or, get them to, flirt with you or sleep with you or whatever,
Yeah.
And there's like, I want to say like safeguards or auto mods or something like that like
restrictions to it.
Oh, yeah. I'm not sure. I'm not that kind of lady or whatever. So that you'll get that answer,
I'm that
in different forms from time to time.
Is,
and stuff like that. But it is fun to like, for a while it was fun to like say nonsense to them and then have them answer. However, I don't know why they programmed the AI to say 4 more sentences than is necessary.
It just goes on. Yeah, I did notice that.
Fucking drags, dude. Like you end up doing this a lot. So tell me about this. And they're like, well, I like this. And then this is like this. And this relates. And this, you end up going menu or not menu, map, re-enter. Because the first part of the sentence is all you need. The next part is their feelings about what they just said. Fucking don't care. So you end up doing that quite a lot. But it's a gimmick and it's fun for a while. Like I'm sure like there's people out there that are like, oh, ChatGPT was, it's fun.
It's the exact same thing.
It's kind of whereas that is welcome.
Yeah. That's most streamers that I have seen played it have made it a 2-ish, 3-ish hour deal of just like absurdity. And then they move on to the next thing. But it's the absurdity.
Seems very much like a little weird event.
Yes. Yeah. The weird side of streaming. Someone on my chat says the game is completely broken and the AI is unable to actually answer the mystery. The dev admitted as such. So I guess you can't even.
You can't win the game. You can't win the game by solving the mystery.
I guess according to my chat.
Maybe it dances around it. Wait. Maybe it dances around it without specifically giving you the answer, so you have to figure it out. Like I could see a mystery dev doing that. It doesn't want a character spoiling the game for you.
But
so maybe it's like
you can guess at the end of the game. Like you can end the game pretty much whenever you want, and you can just guess. So if you guess right, I think there's 3 things you guess. And if you guess right, I guess you win. And I think it's random. So you don't necessarily need them to say anything right, because you can just go to the end and guess, I suppose, if you want to just guess, like try and guess correctly. But that does suck that there's not a j'accuse moment, where it's like, I know it was you now. Like if that kind of is like the point, the fun part.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Agreed.
Well, that's that for the show. Just a random cutoff there.
By the next show, Baldur's Gate 3 will be out.
It's true, yeah.
I think I'll be on the show.
Well, yeah, that's we'll check.
I was going to ask you guys.
I will check base on probably Friday and or Saturday with you guys if we want to do a show next Sunday. I'm completely fine taking it off. It does not matter.
Yeah, we're gonna have a lot of game to play, but I don't like. There's no big releases this week, like unless there's some kind of huge groundbreaking news.
Yeah,
knock on wood.
Yeah.
We could next week would probably be pretty tame.
Yeah.
The week after that, we should have Baldur's Gate 3 to talk about. I think there's a couple.
There's a couple early
August. We'll have
Palia will be out.
Paley will be out. Yep.
Yeah, that'll be out by next. Oh, that'll be out.
And by then, even 2 weeks of.
Oh man,
you excited?
Sorry.
As Zeke falls asleep. Yeah, exactly.
Zeke's very interested in Palia. Yeah. We'll let you guys know. I'll let you know. Let you two know. I'll check in with the 2 of you on Friday or Saturday, and we'll let chat know. Probably on Twitter.
That's good.
And we'll talk about it and all that stuff. Yeah. The other thing is we could always just like jump into a co-op run of us for 3 hours or something next week if you guys want to. If we don't want
I'd
to
be fucking down for that, dude. Absolutely. Can you jump in with just stock characters? Like you don't have to custom create?
So here's what's kind of cool. From what I understand, you guys can jump in and take control of another person's game. So like, for instance, if I was playing single player and far into the game, you guys could just jump in and take control of characters in my party. I think. I'll have to confirm that, but I think you can actually do that.
I wouldn't be.
It's kind of like a weird form of couch co-op.
Yeah. For your own sake, I don't know if you want to do that.
Oh, I would never let you in my game. That was just hypothetical.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
That's
you
what
would
I'm
ruin
saying.
everything.
We would ruin it
Especially
all.
Zeke, man. He'd be like a wrecking ball.
No, listen, no, if we play co-op, you can play on my game. I'll invite you to my game and you can fuck it all up if you want. I don't give a shit.
You would just make a hard save, Co, and then delete it after.
That's exactly what I do.
Yeah,
OS trust issues? I do. I have learned trust issues. That's
true.
right. I do. Absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
Did you have siblings growing up, Co?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
He's got trust issues.
Because that sounds
major
like a
trust
sibling thing to
issues.
me because I had 3 little brothers, and if I had to step away from my game of Zelda on my NES, I had to
you were
threaten
done.
them with fucking harm.
Take the controller
if they
with you.
touched
Oh, have I ever told the story of Final Fantasy VI on the show? I'll make it under a minute. Final Fantasy VI, I have played the game 3 times. I've never beaten it, never seen the ending. I was at the very end of the first playthrough, right when this party splits into 3. I went to save, and as the game was saving, my brother pulls the cartridge from the SNES, and it deletes the save and corrupts it. Second playthrough was on the PlayStation when they re-released it. I got to the very end. As a joke, my brother jokingly said he was going to delete it, and then he accidentally hit the button and deleted the save a second time. I've never finished Final Fantasy VI.
Is this why we've never seen your brother? Was he murdered after that? Is that why?
Yeah,
We've
maybe
heard
so.
stories
Is that
about
the
some-
end of JP's brother? This will not happen a third time, sibling!
Maybe
No,
so.
no.
Maybe so. So I've never
I-
finished Final Fantasy. I've never seen the ending of Final Fantasy VI. Yeah.
I want to tell you something similar, just real quick. I was playing Legend of Zelda 2, and I had gotten to the final dungeon for the very first time, and then I had to go to fucking Little League practice. So I, turned off whatever, left. My brother had some friends over, and they fired up they beat the fucking game while I was at Little League.
Wow, that's even worse than deleting.
Oh, it's even worse.
Oh, man.
That's even worse.
My Final Fantasy VI thing is a friend from school was nice enough to lend me his copy, and and I had major anger issues as a kid, and I lost to a ghost train or something like that.
Sure.
Without thinking, I was sitting right in front of it, and I was like super tired at the time. Without thinking, I pulled the cartridge out of the SNES and threw it against the wall, and definitely broke it. And it was the second the cartridge split in 2, I had the moment of realization that his save game was on there, and he had like hundreds of hours in it. And I was just like, I am the worst person that has ever walked this planet.
Yeah,
It was terrible.
it happens.
I had to put the cartridge back together with hot glue. Didn't work.
You couldn't just put the like. Does the SNES require the plastic housing to like fully seat the actual?
I think there's 2 little flaps, and I think that they
and
have
it has
to be
to like
down.
push it down to.
So
okay.
yeah, I tried everything. I felt terrible.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Years of therapy later, and thankfully I don't pull things out of cartridges much of the time anymore. Not always.
Yeah, now you just have quick save on everything.
Now I just destroy the cartridge as a whole because I can just afford to buy a new one.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Let's do some shout outs. Call it a show. Zeke, start us off. What do you got
All the
going on?
boomers out there going, what the fuck is a cartridge?
I know, right?
It's like a CD.
Or Zoomers, I guess.
Yeah,
I'm a
true.
boomer, I guess, whatever. Anyways, my name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at /Ezekiel_III on Twitch, Shitter, and YouTube. Because X is the SH sound in some lands. And Ezekiel the Third all spelled out on Instagram and TikTok. If you want to catch me, I am live 10 a.m. Pacific every day except Monday. So obviously I'll be off tomorrow. But 10 a.m. every day if you want to come over. Tuesday, I just got confirmation that Tuesday, one of my 100-monthers said they want Killer 7, that old Suda51 game. So
Oh, nice. Okay.
I'm going to be checking out Killer 7 again because I actually checked it out a while ago, but I never it was in the middle of this thing because I was trying to do a thing called Cocktober, and it was like,
God.
sexploitation games. Like you know, I played Lollipop Chainsaw, and I got 2 weeks into it. I was like, I don't feel good anymore doing this, so I stopped. And Killer 7 was like that. Like the game I was just like, I don't want to do it anymore. So I'm coming back to it, and I'm looking forward to it. And then on Thursday, when Baldur's Gate starts for everybody else, I am going to be playing Soul Reaver 2. So that's what's coming up for me. So next 2 days will probably be Killer 7, then Thursday, Friday, probably Soul Reaver 2. So that's what's coming up for me. Thank you for watching.
Fantastic. Thanks for being here. Co, shoutouts.
Absolutely. Hi, my name is Code. Thank you all for watching today. Big thanks to Zeke and JP as always. I will be in a cocoon for the next 4 days, and then I will emerge as a beautiful butterfly to play Baldur's Gate 3. No, I'm probably going to be doing more Cozy Quest in the evenings, EverQuest 1 random chill streams on my alt channel Co, and then Punch Drunk Love in the morning, Punch Drunk Love 2 for the mornings, and maybe a little bit of return to Remnant. I'm not sure, but we're going to be hanging out and basically in a holding pattern until BG3, in which case we're going to get lost in that for weeks and weeks. Pretty much, hopefully, until Armor Core 6 and kind of go from there. But anyway, thank you all for watching. May see you next week, may not, but we'll be back soon for more fun and game. Thanks as always for watching.
Awesome stuff. Yeah, we will let you guys know if we're going to be around. Like I said, check out our shitter, whatever you call it, whatever the fucking thing is called. Our X these days over at Drop Frames. We'll let you guys know if we're doing a show next week. What am I doing between now and I don't. Tomorrow's Community Day. We might be playing Guild Wars 2. You can go vote in our Discord. I think there's like 29 games up for vote right now. So go and do that. We'll probably close the vote tomorrow morning. I just launched merch this past week. You can go to itmeJP/merch. I think that's 10% off till Tuesday. You can grab this shirt and other things on there if that is something you want. And then I will be playing Baldur's Gate 3 on Thursday for a little bit. We're at least doing a sponsored stream for it. We'll see what happens after that. There might be a part of me that's just like, I'm just going to play Baldur's Gate because this game's probably good. But there also might be a part of me where it's like, wow, no one's talking to my chat. I should probably play something else. We'll just have to see how it all goes on Thursday. We'll see what happens. We'll figure out some guests. And we'll come back some point and probably have some of them on for more future episodes. So that's Drop Frames. Thank you so much for watching. You can check out the VOD. Should be up within, I would hope, an hour over at youtube.com/itmeJP. Make sure to sub. It'll be in your sub boxes later today. We're out of here. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. Have a good one. Code, give us one last kick for good measure. Okay. Great. Nope. That's it. God, it's so loud. I think I'm just realizing how good these headphones are.
And also, I think you probably freaked out some fucking dogs, dude.
Probably.
For people who have speakers.
Yeah, probably. Yep. We're out of here. Thanks so much. We'll see you next week. Bye. Maybe next week. We'll see. We'll see you next show. Let's go with that. Bye-bye.
There you go.